Welcome to week 7 of the First Blood Survival Sunday. I'm a Little Fuzzy Seal, joined by the First Blood Cup for today's casts. Great to have you here today, Cup. Alright, so today there's going to be 4 games played of PUBG, Comp PUBG specifically. If this is y'all's first week here, but if this is your first week here, then you have certainly missed out because this is the final possible week for teams to qualify for the SSL finale. 5K on the line for next week, but this week here at week 7, we're going to be seeing which 2 teams qualify for the games today. That being said, we do have a quick little highlight reel of weeks 1 through 6 to show you guys, just to give you guys, just to remind everyone who exactly has already qualified for the SSL. Gonna be showing that to you guys when we can. This is week 1. It was Bottle Riders and Little Crumsies. This was a pretty big surprise as Little Crumsies, a leaderboard grinding team if I'm not mistaken. Bottle Riders, we haven't seen them since. Definitely making waves though.
To get flushed here, he does with the res on his first teammate, going for the push now, but oh god, missing that, just bobbing and weaving, leaning left, leaning right, way too much, and Wallace going down. Another member from the Wizards does bleed out. Arrows now playing prone, playing the right side, waiting for him to come over here, but reloading at just the wrong time. Livid Sumatra.
Now 2 teams remaining, a 2v3 situation, 13 kills in favor of Mozzie.
It was 15 as Lipson gets the opening knock, the trade coming in, but a 2v1 situation after the trade is exactly what Mozzie is looking for. Smash Base seeing him go for the peek, and now in a 1v1, it's Rita versus Dusty Crazy. Rita gets the flank and gets the game-winning kill. Walk on the left and Nims on the right. Seta holding his ground, going now for the res despite the onslaught. And oh my god, the frag coming in at just the right time. Walk TV going in for the punish, spots him out, goes the M4 spray, loses some HP, but gets the...
Yeah, but the quick shots come out, and now a 3v1, but the position of KOPM completely give it away, and here comes the pressure. Grenades going to be flying out of those windows of the second story as well, trying to do whatever they can, but it's not going to be enough.
Ryozen with a huge play takes him down. Arrows trying to make his own plays work, but a frag bouncing off the body of Karis somehow doesn't kill, but oh no, the second one, that's gonna be enough. As I say that, the Arrows in the building trying to jump peek from the window, gets into the window and shoots him from the sill and is able to get back into cover, not punished. What is going on? They're even crashing in. Easiest kill of Mime's life here. Didn't get any down, so
now it's up to Countless. Does he retreat? Does he try to stick the res, or does he try to fend off this? A nice knock coming out on the walk. Now a 1v1 between Nims of Team Hades as well as Countless from Livid.
The jump peaks from Nims with the only spot. Wizards might have done it unless they get demolished by these snakes. That'd be enough. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! The frag from Akko and the third piece on the Dicer does barely go down. I think
Well, oh, yeah, thought I'd be seeing my own face. That was week 1 who got in. Now week 2 is going to be San Diego Rarity and Team Almost. Week 2 qualified teams for the SSL finale coming up.
For Deadeye right now.
Another frag.
Yeah, another frag is coming in.
What?
He's gonna take out
Mime!
2 of them. Mime with taking out Deadeye, and Subtle is now down. Oh my goodness, Mime with these frags. How is he
He's
hitting
got the third
these?
one in, but Subtle is able to crawl down the stairs. Now respecting Mime properly. 1 player down, 1 player dead. Evasion now with his own frags. Might be pushing up on his angle. He's tossing frags, Molotovs. He gets another one. They haven't fired a bullet and they're winning this fight. Fuji is the last one up. Eventually pops out, gets 2 knocks right away. Gumby and Walk both going down. Can Bleak, how this magic happen? Oh my god, he was going for the frag, but oh my goodness, he needs to run. This could be a big frag. He chucks it. A big yeet. Will be going in and detonating on 2 of them. A third one. Sweatsky's the last with the blue at his back. A full team at his front, and another frag from Mime.
About the stairs, he's trying to get that peek. I hope he sees it, but not gonna be able to get a shot. But Chroma is gonna go down.
From the top, running, going for 6x spray on the right side. He just pushed up. They didn't see it coming, but it took his entire team going down. The game takes him down. 1v1v1 coming out here. Ripper, the nut.
frag.
Oh my god, he gets the second one. Ripper getting 2 of the 4 4 teams left, and now
Ripper.
BK going for a peek. Really make it happen. He sees him with the ridge,
Oh
but that
my-
peek.
Here we go, here we go.
Postal goes to the heel. He's in the bathroom. He's in the tub. He's making a ton of noise here, and that's not
Here
going
it
to do it.
comes.
Lunkenberry going for the push, gets
Here
the
it
spray
is.
down. Claiming the low ground. Oh my god,
Oh
a
my
double
goodness.
headshot from Darth Vapor with a mini at that range. Solo's one building coming in from the southeast side. He's holding them off. He's almost gotten one down. The barrel recoil not doing too many favors. Actually, this is an AK with a black AK. He is able to take one player down, 6 not
left.
a spray, and taking the flush on Lush as well. Retaliate, getting the low HP. Hugo in the right spot, right time as
Nice.
well. This is a great opening from Liberate.
Yes, Hugo 41 is moving up towards Matty O.
That was week 2. Week 3, and these are definitely 2 humongous powerhouse teams. Bonzo team and the Izako Boars coming in from the EU.
They're kind of leaning peeking for peaks.
Oh, Zin, does he hear it? Does he hear it? Just in time, but he does lose the initial fight, forced back into the building. He is now camping the backside. He takes out one player, but hiding in the bathroom is the easiest fight of his life. And look at
There
that,
it
Brooks
is.
from the outside, winning the peak battle versus Sociopath. Izako Boars getting teams that are not in. The Project is doing a marvelous job of preventing Brooklyn. And yeah, if you're at low speed, Alexis Ray holding one side, getting 2 downs, 2 flushes right away, and Invasion being down from Ballin, who was holding the shed, waiting for the last moment to pull the trigger, and now Mime somehow
See you
allowed
later.
to drive away in a UAZ. There's a big old box trying to get him to safety,
the
trying to go
ditch.
to the chopsticks, but no, the vehicle. Take him out on a rotate.
Ooh, Karma spotted out. I do believe this is the final member of Winnie. Good dash trying to connect some SKS shots. I mean, Karma's got nowhere to go here. No vehicle. Got to run through the open. There we go. Down. Oh, it is a down.
What
So he's
happened
not
before? This happened outside of the mines, and now it's happening again here. Look over here, Littlefoot in a lot of trouble. These cars do not. Oh god, is that
That's
a
a
frag?
smoke. No,
nope,
it's a
that's
frag.
a frag. Darth Vapor and Loganberry, as well as Ronan, all working together to take.
driving right up to Earns. on the
Okay,
C9
okay,
hill.
PlayerUnknown's Esports, they have gotten camped on their rotates so often, and now they're saying, no, not happening today, not happening again. I will be the camper this time. And Protege from Vicious Gaming are flank coming in from Walk TV, but they don't even need to flank. They have so many frags. They're just smoking this entire team out with grenades as a Walk TV or Rajku trying to get the res up on Rocky Cutie, his last strong teammate. But another frag. Has this team even fired a bullet at Bonzo team yet? As the last frag
my
takes out
God.
our second place team. But that's our first place.
Week 3, very hot. They could have qualified a couple of times over, but week 4, definitely having a couple of strong teams themselves. Teletubbies, the monsters showing up ever since their very first week, as well as the elusive Zwitap.
Alone, shooting a couple of downs on the side, but he sees some players in the open. Marcel getting a lot of damage on to one player, almost takes him down, does get the kill on the Drakmik, hiding the smoke as he begins getting pushed on the right side, goes to the re-push on the side. I'm not sure if that smoke things are up, but he just can't quite get one player. Light firing all around is a little whirlwind of bullets as he's able to take girl power down. One player, he's trying to buy times with his team to around to help him, hiding the side of the smoke and able to take down Mutant Gaming. Marcel, it's like I'm watching like a COD campaign right now. That was a sick play from him. He takes a lot of damage from Ives on the retake as well, but there's so many players barely getting back into cover. But I think he got shot in the back by Marcelic from Bonzo team, who, while this fight is going on, PlayerUnknown'S Esports did not finish this fight fast enough, and now they're getting third party by Bonzo, who are making magic happen. As I'm saying that, Teletubbies finishing the partner on the south side. Goodness, is able to take down by Winzy. This is looking to be their game. Oh my god, Snip was sneaking around from behind. I can't believe what's going on. He took on 3 players, tries to go for a flush in the 4th, but the zone coming in, he's gonna get all these kills. That's nuts for Teletubbies.
Snip.
Pulling them off. 2 players were able to go for a trade. Sociopath and Co are going in. They need to make this happen right now. Sociopath from behind. Corey leading the way, not getting any damage to Molotov. Pulling them off. That's so smart from him, because now Story and Sociopath are doing literally nothing while Zin is holding off the other half of the Teletubbies. Sociopath, oh my god, actually finding Mamek out of the building, going for a jump shot. Very stylish kill, but now he needs Grotto behind, giving him cover. Oh, weaving left, weaving right.
This is
He's
bad
waiting for
mannered
that
right here.
headshot. Phobes didn't turn
Don't
around
stop
from
moving,
that frag.
Phobes.
He needs to, he's even jumping around, getting in his car, the straight up starts, and Phobes
Oh!
turns on him. Good job, Phobes! But
No,
his
the
kill
kill
is stolen.
stolen. Chroma.
Good job, Phobes. But another couple of strong teams, Player One Esports Latin America, who have been showing up every week that they have been playing in the SSL, followed by the free agents here in Week 5.
So if they peek up over this hill as a unit, they've got it. If Basso is able to get the knock in the finish,
All right, Eros getting spotted by El Basso here, tries to go for the spray, but M4 at close range beats SLR every time. And the team we've been talking about all
their odds of making a nice circle.
Whoa, Skokie versus Bonzo running in, gets 2 knocks right away. Well, that was an insane spray. Skokie just getting knock after knock. This guy has like no recoil.
The headshots there.
My God, Marcelic and Maro, they're just gobbling it up. 7 kills in the first 4 minutes of this game. They got some of them, but I think they had a lot of assists there. The base on the roof, and Marcelic blows his head off. He sees Bummer, goes to free fire. One shot, I'll do it. Marcelic getting 6 kills, 9 for Bonzo.
He wants these kills. He
Good
wants
window.
to finish. He peeks the window. He sees these guys. He gets the hip fire. Doesn't connect any of the bullets. He's gonna try for more though. Maddie goes back down. The nade coming out, going in onto Rhino. Rhino
Can't
gets
take
the
that
knock.
right side.
There it is. Oh,
What? Did he just frag his
he
teammates?
fragged his own teammates. He did finish off Maddie as well, but he accidentally fragged his own teammates, and now
Heroes might even see him on the edge of the smoke. Does
does.
get spotted as he throws. No, Dewad, you see him, but his gun was on
single
his
fire.
gun was on single. He
Everybody's
got
looking to fight against Orion. A couple of frags landing near them, but that is a lot of hard cover.
oh, it's gonna be good.
Oh, he saw it coming. He tried to move, but it bounced right on top of him. But luckily, he was able to crawl over to the line and even has a swim grenade ready. And the Singularity not really in the super accomplished. A second frag could do it, but this is gonna be really hard. No, it's so hard to land. It needs like bounce off the hill over the rocket. That's not gonna happen. I didn't think it was gonna happen. What the heck? What?
What the heck, indeed. That was a really weird week with weird circles going up all over the place. Speaking of another weird week, this is the week with Chocolate Thunder and Panda Team just last week in week 6, where the 3rd and 4th teams qualified from that round. That being said, does not mean they didn't put up a great fight. Chocolate Thunder and Panda Team. Oh, you can't let him get away with that. Hairspray trying to hang in there. Gets one. Immediately goes to the reload. But the frags coming in as well as a flank from the right side by the Teletubbies might make this over. And even a couple of shots from Evis taking down Debelung coming in from the rear for backup. So Deranged EU willing to take this 3v4, this fight in the south side of the zone. Might get punished for it, but another knock from Hairspray. She's putting in some good work, and even Mimic going for the res. This is so greedy. And now a 1v1 is Hairspray gonna do it, take out one of our best teams in the lobby. Kleiman coming in from the right, Hairspray just abusing the prone here. She sees him. Oh my god, she does it! Hairspray takes down the entire team. Teletubbies on her own. Unless they exactly feel right here.
And that's typically the path you do. When you come across this bridge, this is right where you go.
Oh no, the Wizards. Oh, and they even pull up. They're dead. They're already dead. They don't even know it yet. And even the car detonating. Fight there. A very, very hectic fight on the southwest edge of the zone. However, the one to their north is still going on as the Wizards are somewhat pushed in by the zone. However, like you're mentioning, all 4 players able to be rezzed. A frag coming into smoke. That smoke, a beacon of their current location. That's going to be the easiest frag of his life. Xylon going down. Hofkid, the only one left up in a second one, takes him down as he actually downs himself, probably intentionally knowing he was going to die there. At that point, I think you got to go for the push. They're smelling the blood in the water, but Mooney here playing the snake in the grass, getting one. We've seen a strong snakes can be in this game, and Mooney will be taking it home, finishing off 2 players from the Wizards, and that was our only 4-man team left. The Boars in the far north against aim from Poland. 2 players down already with Morpheus and Bruxel down. Norky is holding his ground, popping smokes, but that was not a smoke grenade.
It was not.
That was not a smoke grenade.
At least it wasn't a vehicle.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed those highlights. Those are the teams that have qualified for the finale already. But this week there are quite a couple of teams that do want to qualify for the finale that have not yet. I haven't mentioned it yet on live today or on air today, but you also got to remember that another way to qualify is to obtain a top scoring and or top fragging non-qualifying score or kill amount. So there are 2 slots open for that. Weeks 1 through 7, a team that had a ton of points and a ton of kills that didn't qualify. Each of those teams will get a slot. I'll be announcing that hopefully soon after the SSL is over, so keep an eye on the Discord as well as your guys' PMs if you want to see which of those are the teams. That being said, Week 7 will be starting up very, very soon. The lobby is up, just waiting for players to enter on in. And based on the teams that we had today, oh goodness, I should have had that ready. But either way, I know that one off the top of my head is going to be the incredibly strong, at least historically, Team Almost. I did have an interview with Evasion where he talked about this a little bit. But he said that he began to have a couple of issues with the new NPL esports settings, but now that they've had a lot of time to react, and they also have Tanaka in their lineup now as well, a very, very strong fragger, I think that Team Almost will be able to put on a very, very good show this week. On top of that, we got the boys on Pros Don't Snake. I know that they've been playing around a lot, trying to find which lineup works best for them. And they've also been playing in various other NA events as well. So this is just going to be another one on the chalkboard for them, seeing if they can win any money this week. I think that they will be able to, actually, because they are, like I mentioned, quite a strong team. Also, you got to remember Polar Ace, a team that they're not even like the same Polar Ace from the past. They had a gigantic lineup change about a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. And so because of that, we might even be able to see them qualify for the SSL, despite being one of our more inconsistent teams. I would love to see that. I think that with how much work they've put into the PUBG scene, they definitely deserve to be getting themselves a slot in the finale. But as always, you got to have the points to back up that idea. Hopefully be able to do that. And honestly, I'm looking at this list of teams that we have right now, and there are so many teams that deserve to be here. But the ones that are already qualified that are playing today, that are only playing for money and not a finale slot, are going to be Team Almost, Panda Team, Chocolate Thunder, and I'm pretty sure that's it. The other 13 teams are all going to be attempting to qualify, and among them, there are quite a few powerhouses, so it's not going to be very simple. Week 6 was probably actually an easier week to qualify, just due to the sheer amount of teams that were already qualified in the finale. So there's 3 that are already qualified this week. It's not going to be as simple as week 6, but it's going to be a little bit easier than week 1, at least as far as your odds of getting in, just mathematically speaking. So hopefully we'll be able to have some good games. Honestly, I don't want to see finale slots going to 3rd and 4th place like week 6. I want to see it go to the 1st and 2nd place. I want to be super hyped to see teams that are going to be going home not only with some prize money, but also with some finale slots. Sadly, I don't have the exact data for the wild card teams, but like I mentioned before, going to be getting that over to the Discord as soon as I can over to you guys. On top of that, though, there's actually a couple of new teams this week that I haven't seen before, or at least has been a very, very long time since I've seen. Elusive is one. Funny, the name kind of lines up with their reputation. Elusive, a team that I haven't seen play in a incredibly long time. I think they actually might have taken a break. I know there are a group of Marines that are playing today, so definitely a fan of what the. All right. That is a thing that we are seeing today. That's going to be Booyakai from IG Sangel sporting the red nose. I'm a huge fan of that red nose. Not a fan of the rest of that entire getup. The paint, the face paint, a little off-putting as well, to say the least. But it is what it is. All right, looking at the flight plan. Once again, in the SSL, I mentioned this last week, but it's definitely true this week. You could easily advertise the SSL as just the best flight plans in esports PUBG, or the PUBG esports. It's almost always right in the middle, and this one is going to be no exception. Going to be incredibly simple for teams to go pretty much wherever they want to go. The only places that are really cut out here are Primorsk and Stalber. I know that Although I'm pretty sure that team almost tends to enjoy going Primorsk at this point. But with the SSL being a lobby with shifting teams, and honestly with every team, even if they do have the same place they drop every game, they'll almost always anyway have an alternate, like a plan B, an alternate drop point, an alternate preferred drop point, that is. So hopefully we'll be seeing teams know where to go around here. And even this time we're seeing right here, a problem that happens a lot in SSL is people just not hitting F right away, not leaving the plane early because they want to, they want to get a car early, they want to drive really, really far away. And because of that, we'll sometimes see cities on the flight plan that are untaken. This will be true in the case of Novorepinoy, but IG Sangal at the very least will be getting military themselves. Mr. Do the MM and the rest of Merkham will be getting Milta Power. So only one city being left off on the flight plan. And besides that, not being seeing too many early engagements, although we do have 2 teams dropping in the farm area, trying to find some vehicles as well as some baseline loot here. This is going to be Pros Don't Snake, I believe, as well as Aussie's team. Not exactly sure who that is, although it looks like Pros Don't Snake have gotten the better loot, while Galactus Array Esports, a very, very reputable, noteworthy org from where they're from, they will be getting themselves the vehicles here first. So I gotta say, despite Pros Don't Snake getting some early loot, despite them getting loot in settings that allows them to get kitted with very few buildings, I do like the idea of getting these cars a little bit earlier and driving away. That being said, we do have Huaith on the northwest edge, who's a little bit left out of the loop there. It might be a little bit hard for him to get away, and as routing to him around Pros Don't Snake is going to be difficult. Looking at the rest of the map, we do have a small kerfuffle occurring near the Rozhok area with a couple too many teams in this area. Bankai and Svanster, as well as Kingston on the eastern edge and outskirts of Rozhok. Dark Dreams was able to find some kind of vehicle, so they won't be completely all in on this Rozhok area. We'll be seeing if they end up dying at some point. Yasnaya is going to be claimed completely by Amzi Bueno, and the rest of, I believe this is Angry Animals, a collection of different teams that are all playing to try and qualify for cash this week. I believe a couple of players on this team have already qualified other teams, so these guys are solely playing for the experience and the cash, so I'll be surprised to see that actually ends up in a qualifier. But this is going to be a very, very simple Yaz loot, especially considering it is the dead center of the zone. Zone's very interesting as well, as it leaves a lot of questions up. Is it going to go north to Stalber? Is it going to hard shift that way? Is it going to go southeast? And if it goes these 2 spots, then there's a very different way to play both of those 2 zones. Stalber, you can show up whenever you want. You can show up as phase 1, 2, 3. As long as Stalber is still in, you can probably show up late and then have as long as you are able to dismount from your car safely, have a decent shot compared to the rest of the teams that are there. Meanwhile, to the southeast, you'll want to get compounds right away. And Longest Lime and the rest of Chocolate Thunder are in a very good spot if the zone does end up doing that. Question is are they going to sit here, take their compounds and be happy with that? Or are they going to do what's more meta nowadays and try and camp rotation? Speaking of more aggressive play like rotation camping, though, we will be seeing Huaith, after looting his combo to the north, pushing toward where he saw people drop. We see him creeping around a little bit here. He knows someone dropped here, having a 6x as well as a red dot for the, or the hollow for the AK. Means he's going to be prepared for anything that happens, as well as T-Garden's buddy left at some point. So there were 2 players from Pros Don't Snake here. Now there is only 1. But T-Garden, after looting the shot, I would be surprised to be seeing him stay here. I believe that the building that Huaith is on is still looted. Although despite that, T-Garden will also be roaming this way. Huaith will be able to hear him any second now. This is really, really scary for T-Garden. He has no idea that Huaith is here. He'll be looting in a little bit of these buildings. Despite some open doors, he will be finding some extra grenades, some extra gear. Not going out the back door. That would have gotten him killed. Huaith doesn't see him. Oh, but T-Garden spotting Huaith. He might have heard him at the last second, but he got stuck on the balcony. T-Garden getting taken down. Pros Don't Snake being first blood here today. Sadly, won't be seeing any more. And then even Aussie coming in for the backup as soon as the ambush happens. So Galactus Aurora Esports ready for a potential 2v1 situation, although it will not be that today. Socio is not going to be nearby. He left earlier, so it will simply be Pros Don't Snake being essentially losing the farm fight. Not losing other players, but losing one is still a loss. Looking over to the far west side, however, is going to be outside of Hospital. Scrappy trying to drive away, sneak past the rest of, I believe this is this is not Pan Team, this is Pole Team, a new team. I haven't seen them play here in a long time. They weren't called Pole Team at the time, but oh my god, Scrappy just sending it, and it actually works, but wait, what? Oh no, there's no way he hit the F key. There's something that happens with bikes sometimes where if you go on a big enough jump, it'll sometimes just eject you from the car. So that's just unfortunate. Also, speaking of unfortunate, or at least fortunate, if you are a Lappa Gaming fan, it looks like they have been able to take out a couple members of the Angry Animals on a simultaneous compound crash. Dark Dreams able to get the res on Fanster, and this is a pretty strong combo to have, as it is probably going to be center zone going into the rest of this game. Going to want to get all 4 players on here when possible after they get done camping rotations. Looking elsewhere around the map, Oldless as well as Platinum from SNG going to be taking a couple of these compounds near the center zone as well. So quite a few 2-2 splits, quite a few compound holds, and also compound crashes occurring right now. Galactus for Esports looking to see if they can grab themselves a crate. They have already gotten 1 kill to the name. They're just trying to figure out exactly what their logistical situation of these vehicles is going to be. And it looks like, I can't quite tell what gun they got from the crate, but Kuwait at least got the armor sporting that medieval level 3 helmet. And the kill for UC Sixel now getting it down onto Dawad. Going to be getting a couple of revenge shots earlier. No, I don't know if it's an M249 or not in there. I don't want to know if they're bad people. Okay. Surprised to see the 8X left behind. But still, it will be at least the gun being taken here. Looking over here, Elusive trying to go for rotation camp. Oh no, Platinum in a lot of trouble here. Whoa, a great spray from Snorlax. Body shot, headshot, body shot. Going to be taken down Alejo out of the vehicle. And now that will be SNG, despite having a couple of compounds early. Losing out some players, losing personal stake, going for combo crash in the pan team. They already got one down here. Socio in a very awkward spot, trying to win a peak battle versus, I think that was NSG with an M16 on the kill feed. We'll see seeing Dirty Zin go down, leaving only Socio left alive, going all in on this compound right away. Peeking on the east side, but we'll be getting it third party from LG, and now re-peeking around that wall. He will get taken down. This is not an easy compound to crash if you don't go all in. You either got to play the hill, you got to go to the compound, drive your car in, and there's really no in between at this stage in the game when both of this compound and the Northern are taken. Unfortunate to see them go down, but they will be going down in 16th place here today. Meanwhile, in the kill feed, we're seeing Hofkid taking down Lyron, not sure how that happened, as well as Galatasaray Esport going for a 4-man rotation camp on the south side of the zone. A couple of teams nearby will hear that, but whether or not they actually go for a push there is up to question. Meanwhile, IG Sangal outside of Milta. Going to be taking some shots on their own rotation camp onto Putnik. He's going to be camping this rotate alone. We'll be getting a kill for his effort. And Tuolmas will be hearing the shots, seeing his dead teammate, and rotating around east, hopefully able to get to the rest of his team. Meanwhile, the rest of IG Sangal coming from military base, but also Lusa going for a push here right against Murat Kanko, but they will be getting in their vehicles and leaving just as Elusive arrives. Incredibly lucky for them to not get ambushed by the encroaching boys in pink, but it will be Galatasaray Esports staying alive, living another day. Elusive will be able to get this high ground, however, and with Murat Kanko driving to the north and the rest of Galatasaray playing in the dip, there might be potential here for a push. Murat Kanko now going to be going up toward Panda Team's compound that we saw Pros Don't Snake dying. However, hearing a couple of shots, Murat Kanko from this compound will be simply driving away, trying to find a new home for himself. Yellows are empty, but he can't really be sure of that. He's waiting for his teammates to get in position, although while he's waiting for that, Aussie and the rest will begin to get engaged by Elusive and actually dismounting from the UAZ in the middle of an open field. 3 players finding them, and then with the elevation to actually shoot over the UAZ, they're trying to prone, trying to hide behind, but focus fire onto Aussie will take him down for now. They do buy enough time for these smoke grenades to begin to dissipate, and Elusive will actually begin to push mostly from the south, but with Quick Eyes flanking from the west with some frags. This might be enough. First one doesn't bounce close enough. Second one might be able to do it. No, it will not. And actually receiving some fire, Quick Eyes will actually push him away from that flank. So covering fire from the far, far north by the teammates of these players. Murat Kanko will actually dissuade the entirety of Elusive. So putting out some pretty good fire. They probably could have gotten away with that. Elusive probably could have, but they might have lost something in the process. So trying to play very, very safe, very, very passive, and still Galatasaray, the 2 players stuck in the field, are very much still in the thick of it. Their car just exploded. They have almost no options to get out of this one, although they will begin trying to make a smoke cloud, a smoke trail toward this combat. Huwaita will soon be arriving with his vehicle as well. And it looks like that Galatasaray Esport with some great cover as well as smoke rotations will be able to stabilize inside this compound. Meanwhile, the second zone has popped, hard shifting to the southwest. People reacting right away, getting in their cars, trying to go back to what was initially an incredibly busy start location in the Rozok and apartments area. Now a ghost town, as teams that show up here early should be able to take it now. Longest Slime actually getting dismounted from his car, and Fizzle, elusive rather, staying on this high ground, getting a lot of work done. Now, though, IG Sangal once again going for some rotation camps. No one willing to take this fight. One more shot will do it, but Soldado able to get away for now. A lot of rotations being camped right now. A lot of great spots being held by teams. But if they can get around this east side, if they can get around what is quite frankly a blockade on the entire east side of the zone, then the west side of the zone has a lot of compounds, a lot of places that teams will want to hold. The question is how do you get there? Because pretty much every compound in a direct north to south line is being held right now. Lapa Gaming, one of those teams that are a part of this blockade. Solution now going to try to make his presence known as he drives on by with a buggy. Aussie trying to hit lanes of these shots as well, but nope, it's not looking too good with the buggy actually losing its back wheel. Gonna be, well, I was gonna say getting forced to dismount, but actually using the power of physics. A vehicle in motion will stay in motion unless it's a sidecar, that is, and is going to be continuing on to this one-story yellow. This is all he's going to be able to get, as that car was on fire, but... oh, hitting that F button a second too early, and quite frankly, he started to get shot at. I don't blame him for panicking, getting out of that, but the wheels that were taken down caused the buggy after he ejected to spin out and hit him. If that car still had its wheels, it might have been a different story, but sadly, Evolution will not be living this day. Looking around at the zone, we do have Man Bun, Ron Paul, and the rest of, I think that's 303 Esports in dead center of the zone. It probably won't continue to be dead center. The zone's going to try and push out that water at some point, but for now, this is going to be one of those spots where I mentioned that blockade on the east side of the zone all the way north to south, and they're actually part of the blockade to the north. They're making it very, very difficult to cross that bridge once again, just making it incredibly hard to enter this zone through most conventional means. IG Sangal now taking Elusive's old location, but oh my god, getting turned on Snorlax, just demolishing Uno with an SKS headshot. Should be able to get this res, but once again, taking a lot of damage if you're playing outdoors like this is not something you'll want to do. You don't have compounds near you to reloot. You don't have the ability to safely res all the time. You could be getting ambushed, you don't even know it. They will be able to get this res in this case, however, and as I said, the Koski as well does have a compound for himself. So if they need a helmet, if they need some armor, then if you get down, if you get beaten up and battered too much, then IG Sangal will be able to retreat back south to the player to Koski in this compound and reloot if they want to. All right, next zone popping, going further east. Huaith, Murat Kanko, and the rest of Galatasaray now looking very, very fine as they have recently stabilized from a fight earlier and now into a potentially game-winning spot. Simply Simple going over here. They're actually using this team as bait, hoping they drive over the ridge, but actually they will be doing that at our Kartubal dismounting and gonna be lighting up Zlyron. They went all in, assuming this team was going to go over the ridgeline, but they stopped, pulled up, but now a huge third party coming in as Loganberry from the far south side are gonna be taking shots at Pole Team, taking out Kartufel and him going down and out. Both teams actually getting third partied by a ton of different locations to the point where Gavin Ahmet and Hofkid will act from Simply Simple will actually just be sending it. Amo taking one shot at this player, gonna be trying to hold the first floor of this building. Actually, Amo going for some very, very cheeky pre-fire, but Gavin Ahmet is able to stay inside. Amo wants to find him, wants to try and take this fight. With a Scar, he will be at a disadvantage against Gavin Ahmet's M4 at this point-blank range, but it's still winnable for him for sure, especially with Loganberry coming in to back him up from the south. That being said, a headshot onto Amo will make this a little bit hard, but letting him go in first, letting Loganberry go in first, they want this guy to die right now, and Loganberry, with some great hit fire, will take him out, be able to do so, claiming their northwest side of Rozok, as well as taking down Simply Simple to only Hofkid, who is hiding in a shed on the west side of the zone. Gonna be trying to bandage up, but this is gonna be his home for quite a while, being the last one up on his team. Looks like the north side has decided to go for quite of a wide split, a 2-2 split specifically. Lappa Gaming having 2 players up in the far east side to watch the fields of Yasnaya, and 2 players to the north to watch across the river, but also watch get better sightlines to their north. And in this case, on Team Almost. Right now, it's going to be the PT team to the northwest side. That is going to be in a lot of trouble, though, as they're under fire from 2 different teams, as well as having to cross this river. Team Almost taking part in this third party. Tanaka seeing if he can land some shots. And oh my goodness, Crunio and Shuku are just under so much pressure right now. Kaffy actually just saying, nope, I'm done getting out of here, trying to drive to the west, going for some blue tanks. But some decent smoke clouds, some pretty good smoke clouds will allow this team to back up over the ridge, over the mountain, and hopefully find something. But as you saw for a second there, Polar Race is aware of Kaffy coming in from that western ridge. Zidon spotting that, trying to hit these long-range SLR shots with that gaudy blue-yellow skin. Kaffy will be able to make his way into Rozak, but immediately dies to Loganberry, detonating that vehicle, getting the insta-kill on him, leaving only Crunio and Shuku alive on the north side, now getting forced to, with the new zone, cross this river. Looking at center zone, we do have Magister Z and Inkov in center zone. This is going to be Panda team. They've already qualified, and they're looking like they're not run out of steam yet. They have 2 of the best spots in the zone. The only question is that can they hold them both? As you see with Panda team, the east side of their compound is not taken, and that is easily crashable by any team that wants to. At this point in the game, crashes are very popular. We'll be seeing that bites them in the butt later on. Look over here, though, Galactus Esports camping rotations after rotation, and it's going to be SNG, who I'm not even sure if they were able to fire a bullet this game, getting eliminated in 14th place here in Phase 4 off of their rotate. Now, though, as they begin getting fired upon on their south and southeast, they actually lost a player trying to retreat from this and are forced onto the top of Volcano, trying to keep their heads down. Not before they take down Buyakai in a bit of return fire, but still Galactus Array getting demolished, taken down on all sides as Enex from Elusive, Fizzle's teammate, does find a kill there. Uno trying to go for rescue mission on Buyakai while some players are going for some rotates around them. These rotates might give them a little bit of might give them a distraction. They need to make this res happen. Boss Worthless, though, from Merkham, hearing a car pull up and they're saying, nope, we have no idea how many players it is. We need to get out of here right now. Merkham going to be getting in their car and sending it. They might get chased here by 2 Almost, but that would be a bit of a mistake as Elusive is in this compound. Hearing that gunfire, I think that right now that green team to the east will be deciding that discretion being the better part of valor, holding their ground, holding the hilltop, but they're going to need to leave here in about a minute with the zone already pushing in. Meanwhile, Dark Dreams taking it to Wogo and Huaith, getting it down to Buyakai. Galatasaray Esports still showing signs of life in the far east side. Meanwhile, Tanaka from Team Almost is going to be sending it alone toward center zone. There's a couple of places he can go, but this shed that he's going for is already occupied. Hopkins inside. He hears the crash. He's holding inside. Close the door. Tanaka knows it's occupied, but oh no. Hopkins just holding the front door with that high ROF M4. Going to be some good DPS. Going to be an easy down for him to take down Tanaka in his attempted crash. Now, Merkham under a lot of pressure as well, as it looks like that this fight with Logic Squad and Merkham did eventually happen. Oldless trying to figure out how he can res Bosnick, does use the car as hard cover, and with no one else from Merkham in sight, will begin attempting to get this res. Oldless finishing off Boss and into the Fury from Merkham. Going to be avoiding this fight, avoiding the now remaining 2-man of Logic Squad, and retreating off to the west, trying to live on as a solo. 11 teams up, 31 alive. That is a lot of squads that are down away from 4 players. Going to be incredibly difficult for them to hold on here in this scenario, because in this zone there is so much open terrain. It's going to be very much which side of the zone the circle ends on. Is it going to be east, northwest, or southwest, as those are the 3 significant locations that the zone is showing it's going to be. Panda team, though, has 2 of those spots covered, so I do like their spot probably the most here, as they have 2 very, very high value compounds in play for themselves. The zone does pop. We'll be seeing if that does end up happening. And yep, Majesty Z and Incov having, frankly, one of the best spots in the game right now. Not game winning, though, as it's on a bit away from the center. It could still shift toward them, but they might be able to make some magic happen going later in this game. All the other teams have a much harder push in, as Bankai and the minimap, as you see, is going to be pushing up toward his teammate. Oh, but Panda Team inside the car didn't hear the frag, and they're trying to keep this dossier safe, trying to make sure it doesn't get de-wheeled, but actually NSG, with his frags coming in, is just going to be leaving. I gotta say, if you're going to leave like that, then you should have left a lot earlier if you're not willing to contest the high ground. That being said, the mistakes were certainly made, and not even able to get back to his teammates. Panda Team going from an incredibly strong position, but just because they were a couple of seconds too late on reforming, is going to be losing half their team, leaving 2 players in one of the strongest spots in the game. They might get crashed later if they're not careful. Meanwhile, Galatasaray still trying to make their presence known in the high ground, but now getting punished for that as Huaith goes down from Uno, leaving only Uno alive on the northeast edge. Meanwhile, if we're talking about strong teams right now, then we have Polar Race, 3 players up in this compound. It does get crashed here on the left side, as there's now a 3v2 coming out in favor of Polar Race, getting peeked from the window, but actually a third party from Chocolate Thunder will take one down. Tuomas, the last player left up alive, trying to stay alive as long as he can, fragging in the door, trying to get a cheeky angle, going over there behind the couch, running, chucking his own frags, seeing if he can get his own magic done, but Tuomas going down. Polar Race letting other teams do all the work for them, which is going to be okay for them to survive, but you gotta remember, with these score settings, kills are so incredibly important. Polar Race potentially losing out on a couple of kills, but at the very least, do not lose any players in the process, and quite frankly, all these burning wreckages are going to dissuade anyone else from crashing them, so Polar Race are feeling pretty safe right now. However, in the Far East, 2 teams that we're looking at for being strong is going to be Elusive in the pink to the south with the S1 in front of their name. They're still able to hold this combo, they're still able to have great sight lines, and they have 4 players up with good armor that they haven't had to lose much of in awkward fights. Also, IG Sangal in the red to their northeast, having the entirety of the far eastern ridgeline. They do get a crate as well, as on top of having some really good car forts, mixing up these rocks, trees with the cover provided by their UAZs. The only problem is if someone takes the hill to their north and flanks them on their right flank. However, this level 3 armor as well as this Mark 14 will help them significantly in these peak battles. They just gotta find time to grab it, because right now they're more worried about getting pushed by Elusive from their south, as we see IMCMV trying to put some fire out there, as well as being joined by Uno. That crate is not on top of their priority list right now. 301 getting taken down somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where that's happening. It's on the north side, as we see Lapa Gaming, another strong team with 10 kills right now. I didn't even see their kill count. They've been putting in work this game, taking down half of Panda Team, but that was only 2 of their 8 kills. Not exactly in the best spot this zone, but with 10 kills, I'm not sure that that exactly matters. We'll be seeing if they can get more work done as the zone does shift even further south, benefiting Elusive hugely. Lapa Gaming going to be trying to get whatever work they've done can from this compound. We'll be seeing if they can get that indeed done, as they don't exactly have a clear method to break into the zone besides a crash onto one of 2 hard points. Going to be very difficult for them to get in. Chocolate Thunder in a similar spot, as they're quite spread out here. El Basso in the shed, his northeast, and Matax not into the zone in the apartments, trying to 1v1 into the Fury to the south. But once again, Fury having his own shed, not willing to go for his own peak battle. And all these players, all these teams on the west side are going to need to push into Polar Race. But looking over here in the minimap, Galatasaray Esports hearing footsteps on the north, going to be proning, getting ready. Bankai showing himself with the ridgeline. No, getting some shots, finding him on the prone. But the second player coming from the right side will send No out of the game. Lapa Gaming getting their 11th kill, trying to get the res on Bankai. That is not possible. The zone will kill you at this point. Okay, they will not be going to. They realize that right away. ID Sangal now have a huge job in front of them, taking down the approaching Lapa Gaming. 2 players down, and they're going down to the play zone. Only 1 is left up as Nuno takes down Svanster. You know, now he doesn't even care. He realized these teams are coming in from the north, but there were more about their south are now coming in from Elusive, who do have to leave the compound. They did take down every single player from Lapa Gaming besides Dark Dream, who is now trying to smoke himself out. But oh my goodness, just spraying him through the smoke. Volume greater than specific accuracy, as these DMRs from Galatasaray, from ID Sangal, is able to take down these players to the north. Lapa Gaming going out with 11 or 12 kills, though. They're feeling pretty good about that, despite only getting 8th place. I think that was 1 placement point and 10 kill points. Insane plays from them. Now, Polar Race in the far west side, 4 kills to the name, so very sizable as well. And you got to remember, we're getting to the point where these placement points will begin to add up once you get past 9th and start going 7th, 6th, 5th, etc. Now, though, Hofkid making his way to Chocolate Thunder. El Basso going for a jump peek, spotting Hofkid in the smoke potentially. Hofkid trying to go for a cheeky throw through the window. It's going to land in, but actually bounces inside like a golf ball. El Basso going from outside. Hofkid using his audio to know exactly where El Basso was, taking him down here. But oh no, his kill is almost stolen from Merkham. But Hofkid able to steal that, or rather able to secure that for himself, claiming the shed, trying to survive as long as he can, but it's just going to be a momentary victory as he does need to now advance toward the stronghold of Polar Ace. At this point, you got to question, is it even worth going for this fight? And for him, for his sake, I'm not sure if it is. Now, though, Polar Ace seeing a couple of solos in the far west, just trying to mop up the mess as he sends a grenade over toward Mad Attack. Not going to be quite far enough. But just because the grenade didn't kill him doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to kill him with their guns later. Looking at the rest of the zone, we do have Elusive shifting up on the far south side, as well as ID Sangal making a play on the far east. Elusive spotting it, but not able to put down effective high damage fire at this range. They're sending it somewhere, trying to use the hard cover of these trees to hold their ground here. But did they do this too early is the question. Lockenberry getting one player down immediately in a car explosion, as well as potential flanks coming in from the north. Polar Ace looking like they're in a hugely beneficial spot right here, having the only compound still in play here. Fizzle taking down. Enex sniped as well from Uno from IG Sangal. So at this point, most players just holding back and saying, I realize we're dead. Let's try and get whatever kills we can in the process. Now the northwest side, Panda team claiming the northwestern shed, holding their ground here, getting shot in the butt in Cubbiz as he tries to make his way into the shack. But Polar Ace, they know exactly what they got to do. Unless a miracle happens, then Panda team will not make it any further into this game. Looking at IG Sangal as well, they're one of the only other strong teams in this lobby as far as numbers went, and they're only down to one player. Even Fizzle spotting out these snakes on the far side. A couple of smokes will be able to protect Incov for now, but Magister Z will be taken down by Lockenberry, who, once again, I'm pretty sure he has the only kills on Polar Ace's team, putting in a significant amount of work for Polar Ace. Definitely the, oh my god, the star player, or at least the kill stealer of Polar Ace right now. Looking at the numbers, 3v1 coming out here. And looking at the zone now, Polar Ace has done a great job staying alive, holding their ground on the northwest side. But Elusive, with their incredible spread in the southeast, they have control over a significant portion of the zone. And this combat that Polar Ace is in is pretty dang hard to leave. It's going to be very difficult for them to leave this one as long as Elusive is on point and ready to take them down. But with IMCMV from IG Sangal still alive, that might be the thorn in the side that Elusive needs to take down right away. The frag coming in, bouncing. Oh, is that good? It is going to be good enough. That is great for Elusive, as this will allow them to creep their way into the zone. Snorlax having a hard cover on his side. Quick Eyes needs to advance a little bit, and Fizzle potentially being able to take IG Sangal's old spot. As long as Elusive does not get downed, as long as no one here gets downed, then they're gonna be okay. With that in mind, any bolt action from Polar Ace will be very effective, but I think that they mostly have DMRs. That is mostly the meta right now. DMR better than bolt action. So I think that because of that, Elusive, unless they're missing armor, should be quite safe here to slowly advance, slowly find cover, as long as Quick Eyes can get in. Fizzle as well, holding a very cheeky off angle, waiting for Polar Ace to leave their compound. But looking over here, they don't actually have to leave. So I really actually don't like this play from Fizzle, as he might get forced into the zone. And if Polar Ace decides to stay in their compound, then he might actually get taken down, but with the zone at his back, forced into zero cover, and then get taken down by Polar Ace. That being said, on the far side, we see Ammo making a play for Polar Ace, scouting it a little bit, finding a very, very small dip. They're getting their car over here as well, but Loggenberry is particularly trying to make a car for it with the ridge on the right and the Dacia to the left. But oh no, it's not quite in time, and Loggenberry spinning out here as well. He needs to get here right now, and okay, does make it work, but oh, getting shot in the head. Ammo not able to heal it, but Fizzle getting straight out, 2v2 coming out. Ammo going for a heal, smoke grenades. I pray to God that's a smoke. Okay, that is a smoke grenade, so no friendly fire happening, but Ammo still not getting a res. A frag coming in over the ridge line. Oh, it lands just almost correctly, but cooked a little too much. The frag getting burned in the process, and now Loggenberry not getting res until now, but he is now resed. Fizzle is finished, and now getting this res. However, 3v2 advantage going to Polar Ace, but the positioning going in favor of Elusive, as Snorlax specifically has a great bit of cover in center zone. The dot is directly on his head. The big question that I have for Polar Ace is, do you have frag grenades? That's the only way you win. We have Ronan over here prepping his own frags, but it looks like they don't actually know that Snorlax is here quite yet. Might even want to pre-frag this, but no, they're actually more worried about quick eyes right now and potential players hiding in the grass over here to the southeast. They might not even know Snorlax is here, and if they don't, then he could make a gigantic play here at the end of the game. 1v1 versus Elusive and Polar Ace. Who's going to win it? We see Polar Ace advancing all along this ridgeline. This actually is much better cover than I thought it was. Quick Eye is unable to get the work done that he wanted to do, hiding over here on the far east edge, and as soon as he leaves his hard cover, that's when Polar Ace is going to jump down his throat. The zone now at his back, getting shot in the head. That is horrible timing. This is not good for him. And now Snorlax holding his side, but oh my god, a great headshot, taking Emo down, but oh, he actually goes to the flush. Is that going to be too much? Seeing Lockenberry going to the left side, Snorlax going for a peek. This is exactly what Elusive needed, leaving only Ronan alive. The frags did not go on Snorlax, and now he will be able to use his stronghold to take down most of Polar Ace. One more shot is gonna do it, but can't quite find it. Now going for a heal, Ronan holding his ground. Quick Eyes going for the sprays, using only grass to get it, but the zone actually. Polar Ace denying Elusive the kill point very intelligently after having lost the fight, but even better is going to be Elusive, who held that that far south side combat for most of the game, avoided a lot of the fight, and were able to hold most of the south side relatively uncontested. Had 7 kills to their name, but you gotta remember that there were a couple. I'm a little bit sad we didn't see the end of the game scoreboard. There were a couple of other teams that did have a ton of kills. Specifically, I was looking at Lappa Gaming, who ousted half of Panda Team from their northern compound. And actually, yeah, look at this. Polar Ace getting 7 kills themselves, so tying with Elusive. Good stuff there. 6 kills to the 3rd place team. Like, there's a lot of high kill counts all over the place. Specifically, look at Team 8, Bankai, Kingston, Dark Dreams, and Fanster. Getting even in the team below that. I think that's this Galactus Array. 7 kills to them. This is going to be an incredibly balanced set of kill score placement points in first game within the top 10. Of course, there's a couple other teams that I would love to see play put on some more work in the next game. That being Pros Don't Snake and Team Almost. Specifically, Team Almost, I was very surprised we see them going out the way they did. That being said, the zone was very, very unkind to them, and it looks like that Lappa Gaming gave them a little bit of what for. So going to be very, very difficult to see them try to recover from that going into games 2, 3, and 4. That being said, Team Almost doesn't have too much to lose besides not getting money. The finale slot is already theirs. They're already able to play in it. But Pros Don't Snake, that is the team where they have a lot on the line here. This is the last week that they'll be able to qualify for the finale. And based on their previous scores, they haven't played... It's either like a huge amount, or I don't think they've played any SSL for weeks 1 through 7, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but that just means that they have no wild card score to potentially lean on. They have nothing to hope for besides playing their hearts out today. And honestly, they're just in the same boat as the other 12 teams here, besides potentially IG Sangal. Right now, if I had to name a team that was probably looking at a wildcard slot, it would be IG Sangal. They play here at the SSL so dang much. So I maybe almost every week. So they're going to be one of the teams that I'm looking at to potentially be getting themselves a slot based on the wildcard. Gotta make sure I say hydrate on my solo casting. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff there. As that game actually didn't go the way I thought it would. When I saw that it was going to go Yaz, I was either like, getting myself in the mental preparedness for either our far north side Stalver Circle, which, like I mentioned before, vehicles don't matter, or the far east side where compounds got really important. But we kind of got something in between there, where for a very, 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 very long time, there were no head-on fights. In fact, actually, I think that's correct to say that there were pretty much 0 head-on fights that game. Like, there were almost no 1v1s because people in the first couple of zones just like didn't die. Like in the first 2 phases, there were 1 or 2 skirmishes. I think there was 1 fight that happened where people like ended up running away after getting routed, and then there was Pros Don't Snake crashing or combat and dying. But almost everything else was people vying for positions, scouting for intel, finding whatever intel they wanted, and then taking a spot that wasn't taken, then adding themselves to the cluster that was the mid game there. So a ton of teams taking high ground spots, a ton of teams going for rotation camps. Specifically in phase 1, actually, we saw IG Sangal coming in from military base, camping out the boys coming in from Milta Power. So that seeing all these rotation camps in the first zone, sitting out a couple of solos, you have a lot of loot. Go ahead and camp this spot. It'll keep us safe going later. And a point-to-point, if you get a kill, great stuff. But also, due to the nature of the zone, due to the terrain that was in there, we saw a lot of hilltops being camped, a lot of just like not solo teams going all in, sending all 4 players out on rotation camps. Also, we saw a couple of, as we went to the mid game to the end game, a couple of potential mistakes being made by teams going for 2-2 splits a little bit too long. I'm specifically looking at Panda Team in that end game. I think that most of that game was somewhat predetermined by the zone besides Panda Team. Panda Team was the big question mark there. And going back to that in a little bit, looking at the scoreboard here right now, Elusive taking a relatively conservative first place with 7 kills. The average number of kills for a first place team, at least in the past, being 12. That number has mostly stood the test of time. I believe the exact decimal is 11.75, so generally 12 kills per team. Going a little bit below that, but that's only because just look at the second bar there. Look at the second column. So many kills spread out among so many teams that Lapa getting the lion's share of that, despite getting an 8th place finish, ending that in 3rd place. Excuse me. Great stuff from them. I'm especially surprised. Excuse me, I'm sorry. To be seeing IG Sangal not get as many kills as I thought they did. I thought that them and Galatasaray were able to get a ton of kills on that far east side, but it looks like Galatasaray was able to, despite dying quite a bit earlier, actually rack up more kills. They took a riskier spot than IG Sangal on that far east side. Were able to get further IG Sangal was, but not with as many kills. So at the end of the day, the scores being what they were, it does look like that IG Sangal did have the better idea, getting a great 3rd place. Thinking about how they played that end game as well, they might have left their spot in the far east a little bit early. We saw it from Elusive's point of view, where when Polaris was on the far west side, still holding their compound, and when Elusive was on the far south, still playing somewhat passive, playing on the edge. IG Sangal, about halfway into the before the next phase, they actually sent a 2-man car crash to a glade to the east of Polaris, and it seemed like a decent idea, but it might have been a little bit too early. They didn't have a great spot to put the car. They didn't have great intel on exactly what was going on, and specifically the 2-man of Panda Team was still to the north of IG Sangal's crash point. So if they did this a little bit later, potentially waited until Panda Team either left or was forced to push into Polaris, that might have been better. The timing might not have worked out that way, but still, either way, from that play, IG Sangal lost 1 player in the crash. They lost the player to Elusive, who went back to hold the far east side, which that makes a lot of sense. Elusive only had eyes on that 1 player, so for Uno, I think, is the player who was left in the far east. It was essentially a 1v4, incredibly hard for him to win or even hold there, but still, that crash, if he had 3 players up in IG Sangal's end game spot when they only had 1, that's a very, very different game. Those are the 2 big teams, I think, that could have had a big impact on the game, but because of how the game played out, the specific decisions that they and other teams made, they didn't get as far as I think that they were planning on doing so, Panda Team and IG Sangal. That being said, definitely having some great strategies. There's potential in having the timings down. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Panda Team and IG Sangal make even better plays go into games 2 through 4. If this is your first time watching this week as well, it's going to be 2 games of NA, 2 games of E. We're going into our 2nd NA game today, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what our NA teams can do. Of the NA teams that we have that are being advantaged or that are getting benefited by this, it looks as though Polaris, I'm pretty sure Logic Squad is one. Actually, no, Logic Squad is not one. Polaris, 303 Esports, Chocolate Thunder, Merkham, Pros Don't Snake, Team Almost and Elusive. So almost always an 8x8 split. This week it is a 7x9 split for NA to EU. So specifically looking at our NA teams to see if they'll be able to recover from game 1, seeing if they can push into game 2. It's not like it's NA versus EU, but this is the time to do so when you have higher ping. Just to stress as well with the wildcard rules, within weeks 1 through 7, it is 1, a team that got the most points without qualifying, and 2, a team that got the most kills without qualifying. Those are the 2 ways that you qualify for the wild card qualification there. So we'll be able to tell exactly what that team is after this week's games. I don't think we're going to stay to announce it on stream, but we will be around in the Discord to announce that, and I'll be there to tell you guys exactly who that was. I'm looking at chat for a little bit. Thank you, boss, with just liking the washed hair look. I like it too. I think it's very, very good. Going into game 2 here on Miramar. Not as good of a flight plan as I was expecting. Might not be able to put the ad that I would like out today with best flight plans in the NA, but still going to be able to get a good deal of drop spots in. I'm not exactly sure how a lot of teams feel about this, but it always feels kind of nice whenever the north side is accessible with Cabrera, Torre, Cruz, Tierra, and Campo Militar. It feels good to me whenever those cities are in play. It feels like there's a lot of safe loot spots for teams to get, and they don't have to get in early fights they don't want to. But you gotta remember, places like, very popular places, Puerto, Los Leones, Chumacera, these are very, very difficult locations to get to in this zone. And a lot of teams, they don't like going to the north side. They don't like, they don't have these spots on the far north, as their primary drop spot. So we're probably going to be seeing a lot of reactive drops, which is going to mean potentially some awkward early game fights, probably in the San Martin outskirts, which happens almost every game here at the SSL. A couple teams dropping off pretty early here. Actually, literally only one, so El Azahar will be taken. But besides that, a lot of these cities in the far north side completely untaken. This happens a lot on Miramar. Tierra, Campo, Torre, Cruz. All these but one will probably remain to be untaken. That being said, especially when it comes to Miramar and with how active rotation camps are, taking places that are too close to the edge, that are close to popular rotation paths where teams are going to be driving around a lot, are oftentimes camped nowadays. Very, very worried to be seeing exactly how these teams get into the zone, but it looks like once you get away from that northeastern edge, there are going to be more of those northern cities taken. Looking over here, we have potentially two teams dropping for Power Grid, contesting it. Xvolution and Ryozen dropping pretty close here to Zlyron, Gavr, Amit, and Hofkid. If you're Xvolution, this is pretty ballsy to go for, especially considering you have Bueno Film and Amzi going to the far east, but they will actually be dropping here, so this is going to be a 2v3 that will be happening regardless. Simply Simple and Zlyron grabbing the northern warehouse, Xvolution grabbing the southern one. It looks like the better loot going for Xvolution. He also doesn't have to share, while the jank loadout of the double barrel and the VSS will be just an example of what's being used here. But Xvolution now potentially getting himself in a bit of a scuffle as he leaves over to the east. Gavr might get spotted. Actually have the double VSS combo. If Tanaka were here, he would be elated. He loves the VSS, but I'm not sure these two players do. Xvolution now hiding in the garage. He didn't get spotted leaving out here, so this is a potential great spot for him to get some damage done. Has the AK, is also more than 10 bullets in a mag if he does decide to go for an ambush. But right now, it will be the two players from Simply Simple going to clear this warehouse. And look at this AK. He only has 30 bullets. He's not going to be able to get too much done if his ambush doesn't go well. He's putting a lot of faith in Ryozen here, or his own shooting to get out of this. But even looking at that, 3 players now do all convene from Simply Simple in this warehouse. I don't care how many bullets you have, this might not even be a winnable fight for him, as even at this point they're beginning to spread out their ARs. So more scars, less VSS is much easier to push in here, as Ryozen now does decide to push in from the north side. Gonna be trying to creep in himself, stealth being their main benefit. Seeing him through the chain link fence, very hard to shoot through, very hard to spot through it though. Ryozen gonna be proning here. Only a level 1 helmet for him. using all the white camo, trying to make sure he's not very visible. Zyron getting shot up here, gonna be going down to 1 HP. His 2 teammates covering. Zyron going for a push, but does get down. Ryozen taking a good hefty chunk of damage in the process. Exelution coming in from the rear to try to benefit, try to provide some backup. His teammate, the Hopkins teammate, going for a flank on the far right side. Ryozen taking him down with a great headshot. Hopkins going for the trade. Is Exelution in position? He's almost in position to disallow the flash, but does not get the down on Hopkins. The 1v1 between Expo and Hopkins is now coming into play. Expo needs to take him down right now, but he's using his very few AK bullets to potentially go for some flushes. 10 bullets left. This is such a dangerous. He has 1 spray left to make this work. Hofkid peeking in that doorway. Exo not getting spotted quite yet. Do the MM now creeping in from the north side. Exo needs to end this right now. Although, as I say that, we do have Amic coming in from the southeast side, as well as Bueno potentially, hopefully, coming in with that bike to help out. But right now, Amzi with, once again, 30 bullets in a dream coming in to help out. Exo holding his ground, but Mr. Do the MM coming in on the right, as well as Exo using the last of his bullets, pretty much sealing Ryozen's fate. Hofkid, I can't even call this a 2v1 in favor of Angry Animals anymore because Exo's out of ammo. He has nothing left. He's proning. And at this point, I think that if you're the Angry Animals, you just gotta back up from this. You have 1 player with nothing. You have a down player in a 3v2. You're not gonna win this as the 2. As I say that though, Amzi getting a great headshot onto Hofkid, leaving only Gavver and Do the MM up, but at 1 HP, barely able to stay alive. Now dropping his remaining AK ammo for Exelution, finally making him able to fight. But Bueno coming in from the west side is no bueno for Gavver Ahmet as he is forced to hold inside the shed as he is now almost down to 1 shot. Do the MM though, avoiding the frag, getting the res into Hofkid as Expo and Amzi spread out on that northeastern flank. Gavver, it looks like he has been able to find some meds. Hofkid as well, almost certainly having a med kit as well, as Do the MM already has one in stock. So it looks like that Simply Simple will be able to refresh themselves, able to hold on a little bit longer in this ambush from the Angry Animals, not working as well as they would like. Although, as I say that, another frag from Amic onto Hofkid will down him again. I think he actually popped a first aid kit as well. So that's going to be really, really frustrating for Simply Simple to deal with, getting these meds, then immediately losing them. Bueno holding his ground in the far west, not moving, forcing Gavver Ahmet to stay down. So a stalemate on the northeast as they're slowly but surely trading shots. Exelution making a play, spotted out, taking a couple of UMP shots to the chest plate, but continuing to lose this battle as Gavver Ahmet makes a move, leaves a little bit. Amic holding his ground. It looks like that Angry Animals is running out of steam, but they're not running out of aim. But as I say that, Do the MM taking down Exelution. Angry Animals out of meds, and they even are out of helmets as well, as Do the MM taking down Bueno Film. Amic, the last player that's alive, he's landed some great mini 14 shots, but at this point, is the time now to leave? Is it time to just get out of Dodge? And as his Exelution gets flushed, gets finished off, I think that most people would agree that, yes, now was the time to leave, but nope, Amic just wrapping south, wrapping north. He either doesn't want to leave or he feels like he can't leave. Either way, he will be staying here, trying to find a just cheeky angle after cheeky angle. He has landed a ton of stellar mini 14 headshots, but he's going to need to land even more if he wants to win this fight for himself and for the rest of Angry Animals. And as Bueno Film goes down, the last reason, the last thing he had going for him ends up dying, and it will be Power Grid being claimed by Simply Simple. Looking at the rest of the zone, Hacienda being claimed by SNG. They're able to get a ton of cars, ton of loot, as well as a spot in the center zone. A lot of other teams have taken compounds in the center area. Mad Attacks from Chocolate Thunder, as well as Refray and Scrappy from Merkham to the south in the brown and the gray respectively, taking quite a few spots. Even Team Almost in the white further east, all going for a 4-man hold on top of this hill. I've seen this spot get outflanked a ton. I'm a little bit worried about their ability to hold this going in the mid game. If they have a way to leave, then I like that, but that Marauder's smoking, those off-roads are in the open to their north. I don't think they're going to stay around long as anything besides hard cover. Very, very ballsy from Team Almost, but we'll see if they can get something done with it. Shots being traded between quite a few teams here. Far east, we see IG Sangal getting crept up on by Logic Squad. Oldest and Baznik now getting spotted out here by Uno, making some long-range mini 14 shots. How will they react to this? Is Logic Squad going to go in? Yes, they will. They are sending it full, sending it Koski, spotting it down, getting the barrel spray, but the recoil guy not doing any favors. He sees a car smoke left and decides he needs to go in right, but a glancing blow to his head will take him down to 1 HP, now retreating, but oh my goodness, 2 times in a row. If he's alive, he's complaining about anything, I gotta say. And oh my god, what just happened? Did he take him down to jump peak? I don't know what just happened, but IG Sangal losing 2 players in a very surprising fashion. Uno and IMCMV trying to show up, trying to recover their down teammates that they've lost in a 2v4. Baznik does get taken down by IMCMV, but with reinforcements coming from Logic Squad, they are all in. They're full sending it into this compound. Uno spawning out the player inside the compound. Oldless getting taken down. Now a 2v2 as IG Sangal getting a large amount of revenge, getting thrust at Logic Squad. The frag, oh my god, that was almost good. It just wiggled up that railing and barely saved Oldlitz over the lip of that building. Oh my goodness, but a flank by IMCMV takes on one player, but it did result in IMCMV losing his life. Logic Squad now going for a res on Oldlitz, who was chunking out with very little HP left. A Cold War state now occurring as both teams agreeing to chill out, res their teammates, and then see if we can get something done there. Toputnik now backing off, trying to get in a safe spot for his res. Koski getting rezzed as well, and when the dust is settled, it looks like Logic Squad coming out ahead 3v2. Koski, though, still showing up here, still showing signs of life, but Uno checking out a random frag, doesn't really get anything done. Looks like they aren't quite exactly sure where Logic Squad is. It was having 2 players up, realizing that with their positioning that this Logic Squad has to have gotten that res off, and that they're in a 2v3. They're not feeling too good right now. They're backing off to their southwest. They're trying to either decide if they want to go for their angle or if they just want to leave. Uno now making a play, trying to get to the Murado, it looks like. Creeping up for it. Doesn't want to get hurt until he can blast on out of here. Koski covering from the far south as well. No other teams in position for a third party, although with how he's playing this, it looks like he's playing less of the Murado and more for just a sneaky shot. Toputnik finding Koski, and as they come in, Uno trying to get something done, trying to spray these players out, but just doesn't have clearance from the dirt wall, and oh my god, just rolling up, peeking over the hood of that Murado and seeing 2 players. The end is near, the end is nigh, the end is now, as Logic Squad in a quite extended fight taking on IG Sangal, but that fight, that made a whole lot of noise, and Galactus Array will be showing up for the third party, doing what they do best, third partying, taking up players in rotation, and generally just firing at long range, as the 2-man advance group from Galactus Array will clear the way. Logic Squad losing a player. Looking over here, we have Elusive, who have once again a couple of teams losing players on their way into the zone, this time being Elusive. Quick Eye spotting it out at low HP, trying to go for that M24 peak. But these are very, very good players. They're always wiggling their heads left and right and making that headshot very hard. It'll be a miracle if Quick Eyes can get anything done with that M24, anything meaningful done with it anyway. Gonna need to go his way into the zone. Speaking of the zone, we are in phase 2. It looks like a lot of teams have already made their way into the center of it, Merkham being one of the big ones, making their way into the high ground provided by the graveyard, having almost all their bases covered besides a crash to the south. No one's really looking like they want to do that either, as we see Polar Ace on the far south sort of covering that angle for Merkham. Very, very good spot that Merkham have found themselves in. Might not be a high kill count position, but they'll almost certainly be able to stay here for a very, very long time. Polaris as well, our second place team right now, having a similarly good spot, but one that's slightly less centralized, a little easier to crash, and with a little bit less effective sight lines. A couple players moving in from the north, rotating parallel, actually 3 squads rotating parallel to each other. NSG from, I believe this is no, this is Panic Team, excuse me. Leading the way, going to the outskirts of Hacienda. Keeping their car, their bike, that is, nice and safe inside these compounds. As it looks like Chocolate Thunder, this is the real Chocolate Thunder, going to be holding inside the northeast edge, trying to gatekeep teams coming in from this angle. Pretty big play from them. It's very hard to leave this compound as you go later in the game if it is on the edge like this. But for now, it is going to be a huge thorn in the side of all these teams in the Northwest side. Galatasaray Esports looking like that they're trying to finish off the already battered Logic squad, who are putting some shots toward them from the Far East. So they're aware of these teams are aware of each other's presence. They're trying to take shots at each other. But Galatasaray, they got 8Xs, they got minis, they have a numbers advantage, but despite all these advantages, they are also realizing that we're flankable and we're not really willing to take this fight. So spotting out Panteam on their far west, trying to protect their cars and their backs here, pushing them back in. But looking over here, a AWM body shot is all it's going to take for Ozzy to go down. A great find from him, trying to use a second to follow up on that down, but will not be able to do so. Barely able to crawl behind the hard cover of the pickup truck he is, and now in Cove. Good shot to get that down in the first place with a 4X at that range, but will not be able to confirm it into anything meaningful. Looks like Chocolate Thunder is able to actually spot or at least predict a move from Panda Team into that low ground. Trying to punish that with some long-range frags, but not much being done. Meanwhile, the Minas Generales are being now pushed by two different teams here. Team almost trying to sneak in here. They spot one player to the far left. Dark Dreams. This is going to be Lappa Gaming, the kill leaders of game one by a significant margin. Oh no, evasion. Not realizing someone is here. His close range gun being a mutant on burst. I don't know where Team almost looted. They go to Puerto most of the time, but not much right now. Mime going for a push, getting down, but it will be a trade as well as a finish. No one around to protect the down. Looks like that Mime with his usual aggressive play, so getting a little bit punished for it this time. Evasion be getting pretty antsy. He wants to prevent this res. He wants to do something, but Bankai punishing him for moving out in the open. Yuso and Tanaka, who are... They keep saying that these are the two players that they're just like holding their back, making sure they can just sort of do what they want. But in the Minas Generales, there's too much... Okay, we're going to ignore that for now. There's too much... Tanaka, okay. He's able to recover the bike. But there's too much cover for that play style, for that long range, two in front, two in back to work. Yuso and Tanaka were not able to get anything done. And essentially, it was Evasion and Mime getting in way over their head, taking a 2v4. Speaking of way over their head, we have the 2-man of Logic Squad breaking into the already occupied Minas Generales. They're able to get the down and the kill onto S-Fan, but this might just be kicking a bee's nest as these two teams both heard that. Couple players in the southeast. It looks like Lappa Gaming disengaging, trying to recover, try to figure out exactly what it is that is going on. And while that's going on, 303 Esports coming in from the west. These guys have not been spotted yet. No one is aware of this team's presence, and that could be the big surprise that ends up taking down one of these two teams, whichever finds them first. However, Lappa Gaming on the southeast, claiming the high ground compound, claiming a pretty good spot for them. If they can get some intel that 303 is here to their west, then they'll be in a good spot, but they need to play it slow. They need to figure out what's going on. As it's pretty much just going to be whoever's alive at the end of this is who walks away. I don't think there's a way around this. I don't think there's a way to really disengage from this unless you're maybe Logic Squad. But I feel like 303 and Lappa Gaming on the west and southeast sides here are pretty much all in on this fight. Ron Paul, previously Smoking Ace, is playing for 303 this game, but oh my god, and a head exploding there for Lappa Gaming as a great SLR headshot taking down Dark Dreams. Rawr, I'm Bumblebee, looking for the same thing. Says, when do bumblebees make that sound, I wonder? I want to know what inspired that player's name. Either way, they're putting in a pretty good hold here on the far west side, keeping down not only Lappa Gaming, but also the 2-man of Logic Squad. Neither one too willing to make any big pushes quite yet. They want to find a down on this team first. But also, I think that at this point, everyone's realizing this is a 3-way hold, a 3-way gatekeep. And even with Yuso in the far southeast side, there might be a bit of an upset happening here. That being said, Yuso, a very, very passive player. He's very good at being stealthy. He's very good at playing in the back. That's what he was brought on for, and I believe that that's what he'll be able to do. Question is that even what you want to do at this point in the game? Do you want to go play for placement points, or do you want to sacrifice your last snake for a single kill point, maybe two? I'm not sure what the play is. Far south side, looks like Polar Ace as well as Pros Don't Snake are getting real close to each other, uncomfortably close. Pros Don't Snake using the ridges on the west side to advance underneath the noses of Polar Ace, but they were able to get in their cars, proceed for the East, completely unaware of pros don't snake. However, they might have been over their head as Zidon taken down by Dark Dreams from Lappa Gaming, who that was like a 300-meter shot out of a car. Incredibly impressive shot for him to hit. As Polar Ace, it's looking like that they will not be able to repeat their Game 1 performance as getting hit from the east, hit from the west. And now, with only Loganberry left alive, it's going to be incredibly hard to recover from this scenario. He has a dip, he has some decent cover, but it's not going to help if he's getting pushed from all angles. Looks like center zone completely unoccupied. A lot of teams, because of the nature of the terrain in the middle of the zone, are now fighting for the scraps on the edge. Galactus Array looks like they have been crashed at some point by Elusive. However, the numbers advantage absolutely going in Galactus Array's favor. Elusive lost a lot of players on rotation. They were not able to hold a compound in this game. However, Galactus Array have been able to. They've had a relatively simple game thus far. Aussie now going for a push. They're looking for a bit of spice in this one. Seeing the player go to the staircase, Aussie downloading Elusive. They saw that play coming from a mile away, but it's not going to help as he goes for a repeat and gets flushed by Quick Eyes. He had him download, he saw it coming, but he just couldn't quite make it happen. That being said, the trade will occur. No, using the intel of his dead teammate to clean up this compound. That being said, losing a player in a 4v2 situation as the 4, not exactly necessary. Also, looking at this, Chocolate Thunder, due to a relatively hard shift to the north, has allowed them to play only a little bit outside their compound. This should be relatively tenable for them, as long as they don't get overwhelmed. Panda Team now crossing over from the north side. Chocolate Thunder have spotted this, and a great Car 9 shot onto Dewad from Lime will stop any potential push that Panda Team wanted to happen in their tracks. And even look at this, Madtax going across the road, NSG seeing it coming, getting third party, running with his tail between his legs, Lime seeing if he can finish the job, trying to make it happen, but NSG making the peak work in this third party. Chocolate Thunder did not think this was going to happen. They thought they'd be able to finish this quickly, but now getting third partied from their west, unable to clean up Panda Team right away as well. This might be too much for them. They do end up killing Panda Team. That's great news for them, but this third party made them lose a player in the process, and that is not at all what they were looking for in this kind of scenario with terrain this flat, quite frankly, this garbage. And with how congested their side of the zone is, it's going to be hard to move that as a 3-man. Looking over here, Logic Squad now pushed top the hilltop, and they have actually made this a Thermopylae as 2 players from 3-3 have gone down. How long can Toputnik hold, though, with Jagged, Ron Paul, as well as Leppa Gaming to their south are trying to advance onto the smokes are coming out. Oldest, though, on his second knock is begging for a res. Toputnik will oblige, help him out there, and actually getting helped out by Bankai, who blows the head off of Jagged here right in front of him. Manbun as well, nowhere to be seen. Definitely not getting a res here, as Ron Paul is able to down the safely tucked away Jagged. Able to get this res, but sadly, we see actually that Manbun having a frag. If he was able to use this frag, if Manbun was able to chuck it up here at the top of this high ground, then that would be lights out for Logic Squad. That being said, it looks like that Logic Squad, the Ron Paul and Jagged just are feeling very uncomfortable with the movement they're hearing, but a couple of headshots from Lappa Gaming are just going to continue to put pressure on Logic Squad. They can't even peek without this team annihilating them. Meanwhile, north side, Chocolate Thunder beginning to push out a little bit from their hole on the northeast side. They're now pushed out completely from their compound and are trying to advance on the 2-man of Cartufel and his teammate there to the far east. But oh my goodness, looking over here, Logic Squad, they just can't catch a break. They peek north, they get shot. They peek south, they get shot. And now it looks like that might be the end. Killfree do see a couple more fights breaking down that north side, but Chocolate Thunder with the zone popping and forcing them to push further south, they might need to make a play that they do not want to have happen. And just look at every edge of the zone. Let's go back to the map real quick. There are fights popping off all over the place. PDS able to break into the south, far east now, beginning to look like it's actually going to get a little bit hot here, as Lappa Gaming, after getting what was 3, 4, maybe even 5 M24 headshots, or at least downs through this long-range fire, are now saying that the time to advance is now. The question is that will it work out? Bankai barely was able to get res that time, and with the zone very close to their east, it's going to make it hard for Lappa to flank around the way they would want to. Very hard game for everyone involved, and every team that was part of this fight has taken huge losses in the process. Dark Dreams now making a push. Jagged spotting it, going for a long spray, but staying his ground for so long and trying to just put a brick on Mouse 1 to finish Dark Dreams. It's not gonna work. His armor is gonna be all gone, but that's it. A couple of seconds of invul. But as I say that, a couple of players to Putnik from Logic were coming in, gets 2 down. He only needs 1 more, but running out of ammo, trying to go for the stylish Car9 headshot, but Bankai's having none of it, going for the unpeak, going for a strike. Putnik is landing a lot of fire into Bankai. 1 more shot will do it. Is he gonna win this? Logic squad coming in here as a 2-man and ousting the 3-man of 303 and the 4-man of Lapa, taking them both out, walking away with 9 kills and eliminating the kill leader of the previous game, Putnik, as well as the rest of Logic squad, putting on a huge show. The game is not over yet, though, as Singularity are making their own push, trying to be the leaders of the Northwest Edge, grenading Shuku out of this game, still barely alive, holding his guts in, but not for long, as Caffey is only protection is a couple of smoke grenades, although as I say that, a third party coming from the east is gonna put Singularity on the ropes. They need to clean up this fight on the north as fast as they can. Spraying the smoke, Singularity desperate to find this kill. Platinum unpeaking just as Cappy peeked out on the east side, or the right side of the smoke, not going to be able to take him down. And Platinum now realizing that, okay, the longer this fight takes, the more trouble we're in. But okay, this is going to be finally it. Platinum on the far right side finding him and able to find cover from the 2-man of Chocolate Thunder. Looking over here, it looks like Tanaka, the snake boy himself, didn't have a VSS this game, couldn't quite make any sneaky plays, will be dying in a very appropriate spot inside a shrine in the graveyard. And even looking at this, Merkham, they haven't had to do too much. They've just had to keep people out of the graveyard, and that's going to be what it takes to essentially win this game, as it shifts hard on top of their compound, on top of their high ground. Merkham on the far south in a wonderful spot to win this game. Gotta remember, though, Chocolate Thunder to the northeast, very smart team, and Platinum to the northwest, his team, SNG, Singularity, they have the numbers advantage. They're the only team left with 4 players up. It's going to be very, very hard for them, though, to make their way in here. Although, as I say that, I think they have a ridge line that they can play right here on this side of the zone. The only problem here is that if they play this ridge line, then they're going to get flanked potentially by Chocolate Thunder later in this game, as well as even Gavr Ahmed. So as long as Platinum can play slow, clean up these flanks, they will be okay. And even look at this, Chocolate Thunder blowing the head off a boss Worthless, and that's really good. They see that Cemetery is down, Singularity does, and they're saying, okay, we can now move around a lot safer. We know that a player in the high ground has been downed, so they're actually going to be spreading out a little bit, inching forward toward Chocolate Thunder. Meanwhile, our snakes continuing to make their way and going prone. I think that Fury heard that, though. He heard someone over here. He's jump peeking around, trying to wiggle, see if he can see someone. Gavr Ahmed, rifle trained on the high ground. Fury peeking around, leaning on the far right. He knows that someone is here. His ears did not deceive him. He is getting very close, but gave up just before the ridge that would spot. Although I know, I said, no, he's just going for a repeak. Wait, no. No. He has no idea that Gavr is here. He has no idea. He thinks that that's a box. He saw Gavr, but didn't know that was a person. He thought it was just debris. Oh no, is this gonna be it? And Gavr absolutely seeing Fury. He can absolutely see him. You can absolutely hear him, but he does not want to have to pull the trigger unless he has to. That's the important bit, because if he pulls the trigger, then all of a sudden the rest of Merkham comes bearing down on him. Also, please reload into the Fury. Please. Pretty please. Having 12 bullets in that scar is a little scary to see. Zone pushing all these teams in. It looks like that Chocolate Thunder and Singularity on the far north side, while that sort of standoff has been happening, have not had a fight quite yet. But that's because Chocolate Thunder have taken very, very weird spots, proning on ridge lines that are facing Merkham. The only reason Merkham hasn't spotted him yet is because they're busy, but Reef Fairy will now be able to spot El Basso, who is prone in a very, very cheeky spot. Very, very weird spot, hiding in plain sight. But actually, it's going to be Isatal who is covering Chocolate Thunder for them, and actually don't know yet where Chocolate Thunder is. Merkham now condensing, converging on their own down player, trying to stay alive, but Singularity playing it very, very quietly, trying to see if they can find this team that was right below them. Let's say Platinum has an idea for where this player is. Might have heard him shoot, might have heard something, but knows that he's over here. Might have even seen a shadow move at this point if his shadow settings are on high enough. But they want to make sure that they don't get taken down by anyone on this north side. They want to make sure they're ready to fight against Merkham when that fight does end up occurring. It's going to be a while, though. It's going to be a while. Unless Mad Attack suddenly peaks. More fights breaking out here on the far south side. Sputnik making his way in from the zone. Logic Squad. Oh, he's bobbing left, bobbing right, avoiding these rounds. Merkham getting a couple of frags ready, but Toputnik not staying still, going really ballsy all out here in this push. Refray spotted him, though, go prone behind that gravestone. But oh no, it's going to land and hit a grave in front of him. Toputnik able to stay alive and actually proning for the win on the spray down. Toputnik able to barely stay alive, and now at this point, Singularity pushing in. Gavin Ahmed advancing on the west as well. Merkham, this might be it for them. The smoke coming in, but it's not going to work. He wins that spray down to Putnik, putting in some great work, taking out what was potentially the strongest spot on his own. Into the Fury, forced to back up into the graveyard in a 1v1, but now is actually almost gatekeeping himself with a frag coming from the left. Oh no, Fury, he doesn't hear it, but prone behind the boxes, it's not going to be enough. Oh my God, Toputnik from Logic Squad. What is that? 12 kills, 9 to his name, took up the entirety of the strongest squad. The problem is that with Chocolate Thunder also being down during that it's a solo versus a 4-man, and this is gonna be Toputnik, you're pretty good, dude, but I don't think you're that good. Gavin Ahmed, though, he's just sending it, and it's not going to be enough, as Toputnik stole that kill as well. Oh my God, he is getting so much work done this game. This is going to be it, but I don't care what anyone says. Toputnik from Logic Squad in second place, absolutely the winner of that game. Getting 10 kills to his name, but first place will technically go to Singularity with On the Floor, Elijah, Platinum, and Isital getting all the points, all the kills that game. Isital being the team cheerleader, the team probably the most damage. That's why I usually notice. But let's be real here. Look at team number 2. Look at Topuntik. I was saying his name wrong the entire game. Topuntik with 10 kills to his name. He showed up in the Minas Generales as a 2-man against a 3 and a 4-man, and was able to win regardless in a very long, very drawn-out fight. Incredible stuff coming out from them. When we come back from this break, we'll have the EU games as well as the scoreboard from Game 2 ready for you guys. Don't go anywhere. The EU split coming to you soon. Welcome back to the second half of the SSL, going into the EU splits. If you missed part one, quite frankly, you're in for a treat. At least go back and watch game two as Tepuntic put on a marvelous show, getting second place, but 10 kills to his name against all odds. Put on a marvelous show. Was Singularity that ended up getting first place in that game, but it is going to be pretty close on the scoreboard, as I do believe that we will have that ready for us here in a minute or so. I'm going to put it up when it's ready. Besides that, oh, no, actually, we'll talk about this right now. Okay, so you're looking at that with a great showing right there, just reversing their placement kills from game one. It's going to be a second place with 13 kills, 19 points in a single game, launching them up to first place. But oh my goodness, look at the rest of these scores. There's no one with more than 21 points. This is incredibly close this week. So many teams having a chance. And, you know, gotta remember, Logic Squad, Lapa, Singularity, Elusive, Merkham, all these teams in the top 9, they haven't qualified yet. These guys are feeling marvelous about their chances for the 5K finale, and I know I am as well. Looking at the rest of these guys, Lapa Gaming getting through solely on kills. They came, they saw, they murdered, and then in small text at the bottom, they died. So not getting anything better than in 8th place. They've played about half as long. These rest of these teams are getting knocked out at the mid game, but making the kills work for it. As far as our Gleam campaign, however, go ahead and look at the top there. Enter the code SQUAD at that URL to get a chance to win a couple of cool prizes as well. Go ahead and check that out. Also, don't forget, we do have more events popping off, as well as the... Oh, excuse me, my mustache isn't properly. As long as you're okay with duos and squads events, we have some of those in the app right now. Previous weeks we had the SSL. No SSL quals this week due to the finale occurring next week, but SKS quals are still up and kicking, so make sure you check those out. If you're into some duos, it's going to be on to the Kendi. I'm also getting some signs that servers might be busy. Going to be looking into that, so might be a delay going the next couple of games. We'll keep you guys posted on that one. But either way, to break that game down, honestly, our two games between games 1 and 2 have been very, very strange, with very few like head-on fights occurring outside of the early game. Game 2 on Miramar had a lot more of them. You know, we saw the head-on fight between IG, Sangal, as well as, oh goodness, who was it? I think it was actually Logic Squad, if I'm not mistaken, at the very early game. And you gotta think, if IG Sangal win that fight, or even if they just take down Tepuntic, that's so different. That game ends so differently. Oh my goodness, getting chills just thinking about it. This game was a lot more variable than the last one due to how many head-on fights occurred. It was a lot less of, oh no, you died on rotate because there's everyone everywhere, and more so just, oh, you lost the 1v1, so it's gonna be pretty hard to. Oh, my face is gone. Either way, gonna be a lot more head-on fights that ended up occurring. But honestly, teams had to fight a lot to get in. Specifically, once it got to, like, I think it was phase 4, and the center of the zone was just like a wasteland. It was like, all right, whichever side of the zone you're on, you're just gonna fight for it and kill whoever's there. Like, there was no positioning in the center of the zone besides the graveyard that Merkham was able to hold that was even playable. Merkham able to get a relatively decent showing for themselves at the end of the game, but not enough for any like a huge amount of points. Like a very, very respectable number there for them, getting, I believe it was 4th or 5th place for themselves. So nice to see our NA teams representing. But honestly, I think that Tepuntic, being the hero from the EU, put on some great shows for us today. If I haven't mentioned it yet, we are going into the EU split of the SSL. Going to be 2 more games, one on Erangel, one on Miramar. And honestly, let us know what you guys think about the comp settings. When they were initially released, they were quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Controversial, but I think at this point, a lot of people have mostly taken to them besides maybe exactly Evasion, or even Evasion, from what I'm aware of. likes them now. So I appreciate them, but let me go, guys, know what you guys think in the chat. I'll certainly read it on stream. Just gotta figure out what's going on with this last server. To talk a little bit more about the teams that we have playing with us today. I think that as far as Singularity goes, they've played with us previously. The winners of Game 2, that is. They've played with us previously, although they have never made an amazing showing. They've played a couple of times. They've put on some decent fights for us. But they actually played that last game pretty well. You know, they took fights pretty slowly. They were very, very thoughtful, I think, about anything that they sort of did. That might not be the way to play nowadays. It might be better to be a little bit fast and loose. You get your Twitch aim going, see if you can land shots that people just aren't even like aware of how you did that. Because a lot of times, if you're able to take a really good spot, you know, in phase 1, phase 2, and it gets you through the rest of the game, great stuff. And either way, you know, taking a head on 1v1 squad fight and coming off on top of that, kill points. You get 4 kill points with a one squad fight. And as long as you don't lose 2 players in the process, as long as you take fights and you win, it's good. Isn't that easy? You just take fights and you win, guys. It's as simple as that. It does sound silly, but I do think that this new system, this new setup, makes the game a lot more accessible. I think I would say. Just win, forehead. Yeah, just win. But yeah, because of the way that fights are valued, because in my opinion, with the circle settings, like a really hard meta of you should be at this place at this time is mostly less important. I think that there's still a pretty significant meta in phase 1 for like, and Cherry talks about this a lot when he's here. He's currently playing an NPLC, so go ahead and cheer him. And I believe he is now referred to as Supernova. I think he was officially acquired. Either way, old happy campers. It's always gonna be Charity to me though. He's always talking about rotation camps in phase 1, specifically finding spots where you know people are gonna drive through, sending not even a whole team, 1 players, maybe even 2 to go over there, and knowing which spots are smart are great. By the way, that Baklava is clipping with those glasses. That's more than that's really the thing that I'm most curious about here. Besides that, very stylish hats there. Oh my god, I can see his eyeballs. Great. I'm scared. What is up with people wearing weird stuff nowadays, man? The TV being slanted is triggering me, Ryan. It actually is straight on our end. It is due to the perspective of the camera. We cannot fix it. Trust me. I tried. It's a feature. It's a feature. It's the same thing with the lights fading in and out. It's a psychedelic thing we're going for, you know. Flight plan here, we're looking at going north to south, straight through Pachinki. It's going to be a relatively accessible flight plan. Georgia Pool is a bit of a stretch. Yasnaya, a bit of a stretch. 2 cities that can oftentimes have multiple squads in them. Relatively hard to get to, although quite frankly in the SSL, that has never stopped anyone. Wouldn't be surprised to be seeing people get in those cars early on and try to go there early. The problem is, as always, that if everyone does that, then all of a sudden there's some people that don't have any cars, and, you know, that always ends poorly for those individuals. Team Almost doing their Severny shooting range split, sending to knock it down south, not getting punished at this time, as all the teams that drop nearby, Polar Race, Bueno, Longest Line, they're all veering off elsewhere, so it should be Team Almost able to claim the entirety of Severny for their own. And even it looks like Polar Ace able to claim the entirety of at least northern Georgia to themselves. Southern might be contested by Crunio if they do realize that no one went this way, but that might not be the case, as Zidon is able to land around, potentially look for a car near a vehicle hotspot there on the south side. Looking at Pachinki, we do have Elusive and a Logic Squad, 2 teams that are very high up in the leaderboard right now, hot dropping inside Pachinki. Elusive, though, having Quick Eyes on the outside, as well as a Logic Squad who go for a very aggressive drop. It seems like almost chasing Elusive here. Taking down Enex right away. That's not going to be good to Puntic. Taking him down real early in this fight, grabbing a mini right off the bat. That is not the start you want as Elusive, especially considering that they're a team where they got where they were because they are very good in the mid game at keeping 4 players alive. not being able to do so this game is going to, number one, force them out of Pachinki, and number two, put them in a really bad spot going the rest of this game. Speaking of a bad spot as well, we have a military zone coming to you guys today, and IG Sangeli, the only team here, they can't keep everyone out. I would love to see them go to one of these two bridges in a camping spot, probably the eastern bridge. It's closer to the center, and there's better spots to hold on this side, on their side rather, of the river. Gonna be looking to see how they react to that one. However, as they do need to still get a baseline level of loot. Looking at the kill feed, Rozok beginning to pop off as Socio taking down Hueth. I believe we saw similar fights occur before, but this time we see Hueth and the rest of Lapa Gaming getting punished for it. You gotta remember, it's not Lapa Gaming. I'm not actually sure where Socio is right now. Either way, Lapa Gaming still with 4 up. That was my mistake. But Svanzu does get spotted by Bumblebee here as Jagged begins to push up on this position. Bankai getting some shots onto Jagged. Not even close to getting into that cover there. A little bit too long of a run. Manbun smoking him from afar, but now trying to find a position on Bankai. Can definitely hear him, but Manbun working with a mini iron sight at close range. This is not what he wants to be working with. He doesn't have an Uzi on his back. Definitely want to use that at this range at this point. But yep, there it is. Going for a crash, trying to peek in from the windows. Might be able to see that barrel peeking around the left side of the door. Looks like he's, frag going in. Doesn't clear left though, and he's gonna be easily taken down. Very quick reaction from Bankai, closing the door, forcing Ron Paul to open it again. Bankai buying a lot of time for himself, but his shoulder is getting demolished. Bankai realizing that the reload is happening, goes for the jump shot though. Ron Paul does. I'm not sure if that was out of surprise or by necessity. Either way, he's gonna make it work. Meanwhile, Rar the Bumblebee taking down the supporting members of Lapa coming in from the east. One getting down and finished as Kingston bleeds out on the ground. Fancer holding the high ground as Dark Dreams holds the hill to the east. Hiding in the shack though, spotting Ron Paul. He's at 1 HP. Almost got the heal, almost got punished for rising in the open, but does not get down. Manbun crawling to safety as well. Gonna be very hard to push over here with Jagged getting res and Bumblebee holding the east side. Ron Paul trying to go for this res, but Dark Dreams and Co disallowing it. Even Fancer winning a peak battle versus Jagged, and now against Ron Paul, putting damage on him as well as Dark Dreams is using that advantage, using the damage that Ron Paul has incurred to try and find an opening. The res now occurring. Ron Paul hears Dark Dreams, goes for the flick, and actually makes it work. Dark Dreams clearing up the entire northern flank of 303 Esports. Ron Paul unable to get that res. Fancer holding his ground here. Jagged able to get res again. Now on his second knock here. Will be on his third when he goes down again. Barely alive, but looks like they are now out of meds. Rar and Jagged, though, leaving. Fanster hearing him leave as well, using the audio to retreat over to the west, using the low ground to try to use to try to retreat to the buildings here. As Dark Dreams cleans up business, they actually might be wrapping around to try and find Dark Dreams rather than taking down Fanster. And actually doing so, repositioning like this, they do catch Fanster out in the open, but a Hollow Sights M16 not doing Bumblebee any favors. And Jagged as well is just looking for scraps, anything he can find, bandages, first aid kits, energy drinks, whatever. But this building already being looted is going to be really hard for him to find stuff already. Bumblebee trying to win these peak battles in the meantime with an M16 Hollow. He's keeping them down for sure, but the positioning as well as just the loot amount definitely going in favor of Lapa Gaming. And when we're talking about loot, when we are looking at how low on loot, specifically meds and probably armor that 303 is at, that's when it gets really bad. But a great set of shots from War will open Lapa Gaming back up. This might be exactly what 303 needed to begin to win this fight. Jagged coming on the left. Fancer taking 2 hits. Jagged at low HP, now in a potential flanking spot. But look at this. His Dark Dreams inside is actually feeding him intel and actually slowing down a little bit. Jagged looking for some meds, getting the flush, not punished by Fanster either, and finally getting a first aid kit. Fanster now must realize how bad of a situation he's in. Jagged able to get a full HP. Rar holding him down, and even a frag getting prime tier. Doesn't know exactly who this player is. Luckily for him, not bouncing through the wall. Luckily for Fanster, The second one might get a little bit more done. Fanster getting knocked to 10 HP, very, very low here. And Jagged going for a push. Fanster can now hear it, but oh, it's just gonna take one shot. Jagged not looking, but because Fanster was at 1 HP, able to turn on him and take him down, cleaning up Rozak. Bit of a Pyrrhic victory, however, as we look at the rest of the zone and see that, oh my god, you have to go all the way to Millie. At the very least, with the zone being in Millie, they're probably not going to get third party during that fight. Glidus or Esport on the opposite side of this, though, as somehow Soshi didn't spot him, but a repeat will do so. Aiming up like this is just very, very hard. Took Soshi a little bit to get that kill, but Ozzy will eventually be finished off, and Glidus or Esport getting knocked out in 15th place. Looking at the rest of the zone, Elusive from Pachinki, despite losing a player early on, was able to make their way into the military base. IG Sangal going for a humongous split. 3 players on the west, 1 on the far east in the radio tower. I'm not sure if this is a thing, but I guess if the Millie circle goes one way or another, they'll be ready. But meanwhile, in the Lipovka, a blue tank battle breaking out as Olmos are trying to wrest control of Lipovka away from the angry animals. Evasion getting a lot of damage on Bueno Film. That frag, it looked a little high, and indeed it was, bouncing off the wall of the building. Yuso trying to get his own stuff done, but Bueno is no longer there. I think at this point, Evasion is mostly doing this for his own pride more than anything, saying, I can't hit that grenade. Mime, once again, knocked out of position, going for a play, and gets punished for it. Xvolution not even getting hit, or not even getting down for that in the process. Doesn't get hit a little bit, but it's not going to be enough for Team Almost to have any sort of momentum in this fight. Just simply trying to hold this building, win their peaks. But over here, Amic, oh my goodness, was running in the open, but Evasion just retreating at just the wrong time and gets down immediately as well. These 2 players are trying to make plays happen, but these players, they're too good. They're just not letting him. Leaving only Tanaka and Yuso alive in position. Amic here advancing onto Evasion's building. Yuso trying to stop it from happening. Running in here. Yuso was going for the res. It's almost like he didn't hear Amic come into the building. And now with only Tanaka alive, I gotta say, Team Almost, I feel like they gotta be better than this. But right now, it's just, once again, Tanaka driving away into the sunset on his own, his entire team dead. He's trying to get out, but he doesn't even get away, as 3 shots from Xvolution and a 4th tick from the blue zone will lead to his death. Now, whoa, wait, I have never seen a fight happen here, but right now we have a Logic Squad in an incredibly awkward spot. To Putnik, we showed up just in time to see him die. They got pushed. It looks like, I'm not even sure if it was a 1-man from Merkham or if it was more players and they're just dead. But Merkham specifically into the Fury, ruining Logic Squad's day. It's not even revenge. It was just Merkham taking names. They didn't even care that this was one of the best teams in game 2. They're definitely demolishing this powerhouse of a team, forcing Logic Squad to swim across this gigantic strait. Rest of Merkham were able to either boat across or swim across, probably a boat. This is a very hard place to swim to, and crawl up the western slopes of the military base. It's probably going to be uncontested on the side. It's a very, very unfavorable spot to be. Speaking of favorable, though, IG Sangal in center zone, getting themselves a crate, and AUG, specifically full level 3 armor. Not all players take the AUG. I would not be surprised to see Buyakai not take this, but he actually will end up grabbing it using that sweet, sweet Arctic camo skin. Keelfade, we do see Polar Race going down, who were in 2nd place as of game 1 from Simply Simple. A couple players from that team going down at the very least. IG Sangal spotting out a wide rotate from Elusive, realizing the south side of their melee base now occupied. Might even be able to hear SNG Singularity coming from the far east as well, as it looks like Simply Simple and the rest of that team were able to take down to a man the 4-man boat rotate of Polar Race. I didn't ever really realize how dangerous that was, but I guess if you drive too close to the coast, then you can die for that kind of thing. So Polar Race, that's definitely a learning experience for them. They're probably not going to be making that same mistake again. But either way, it is a mistake that they had to make in an event where this means a lot to them. The money, as well as making the way into the finale, going out in 13th place, 0 kills after such a strong game 1 must be heartbreaking to them. Meanwhile, Angry Animals, looks like they've finished off a couple of, they have been finished off by the currently gatekeeping Chocolate Thunder. Bueno spotting him out to the trees, landing a couple of mini shots through the blue. A third one will take him down. Bosso now having the down as the blue as well as his bleed out damage. Ticking forward in the kill feed. We also will see the stars of last game, Logic Squad, end up drowning as well. Oldless not going to be going any further into this game. Not sure how they exactly both died, but still, Chocolate Thunder holding the Far East out of the blue. Bueno had the same situation while inside the zone, looking around outside. There's like almost no teams. This is such a weird melee game. Like every single team that was on the mainland took really big, really risky fights on the mainland, and no one actually tried to get across the bridge because it was such a scary thing to even think about. It's such a scary thing to try and do. Because of that, East Bridge, uncontested, West Bridge, Magister Z is watching it. Inside the zone, everyone's in the melee base. No one's on the outskirts. You could AFK run on most of Sosnovka Island and be completely okay. The only problem is getting there, and quite frankly, these teams don't even have the intel of what's going on over here. They can't know how empty it is, but you can look at the players alive in the north on the top of your screen. Say it's 34 alive. That's really weird for this stage in the game. It's so strange. It's because people are playing this really strange. No, everyone is just, I think everyone's actually just, like I mentioned before, too afraid of these bridge camps that they're doing whatever it takes to not cross that bridge. Elusive now spreading out on the east side of the melee base. Looks like they're trying to secure a way out to the north if the zone does end up pushing that way. Fizzle specifically trying to do that, as it could very well shift to the far north. Meanwhile, on the kill feed, we see PT versus Longest Line Pull team trying to gatekeep Chocolate Thunder. Cartuple in the open does take a couple of players out before he bleeds out, but Shuku, the last player alive, did not want to be part of that fight for whatever reason, and is now going to be leaving his team to die, bleed out into the blue. But oh, Bueno Films, he sees Chocolate Thunder potentially over this ridge, can definitely see Soldado over here. One more shot will do it. And when you're driving directly at someone, even the speed of a bike is not enough to keep you safe in that situation. Soldado able to get a great amount of work done, and Chocolate Thunder, with his incredibly strange play, gatekeeping, blue tanking well into the second and third phase, still able to get a ton of kills and have a safe entry point into the zone. Same, however, cannot be said for Into the Fury, as he will get finished off. Merkham still alive somewhere. It's actually on the southwest side. Boss Worthless and Co. barely in the zone. If they decide to run in, though, then they'll be almost uncontested. Funnily enough, entire west side of the zone is completely free. Looking elsewhere in the zone, East Bridge coming across it right now is Bulko. Looks like I hear a couple of frags going off. Look, that will actually be to try and secure the kill onto Merkham. There's nothing too much going on there besides a couple of looting situations. 303, all the way from Rozak, able to trying to swim across this river straight. But with how much blue is chunking, I'm not actually sure if they can make that swim. Let's go ahead and look at their health bars real quick, actually. Looking at this, okay, so they full stamina preparation. They're taking 1 damage per tick, or at least 1. I think it's a little bit more. I think it's a decimal. And as phase 4 pops, they're gonna take even more. Okay, yeah, they're dead. They're dead. They're not gonna survive this. 303 is out in 9th place at best here, or probably. These teams inside Melee are very close to each other, but it's going to be a long Cold War, as no one wants to take a fight and, well, go out this early or get third-partied, as pretty much a shot hasn't been heard here for the past 10 or 15 minutes. It's a very quiet game for everyone here inside Melee. IG Sangal holding the roofs, holding the high ground in the barracks, trying to find whatever intel they can. A couple of cars pulling up from the north will be the first thing that these players hear. Pros don't snake in the open, full sending it toward IG Sangal, and T Garden will be punished for it. Socio using his dead friend as scouting intel, gonna be wrapping it around further west. That was pretty much the only place you couldn't have driven here in this scenario. Very greedy for Pros don't snake to try to send it to center right there. Might have been thinking about game 2 and how everyone was playing Edge that game and was hoping the same would occur this game, but that is not at all the case. As he is forced to wrap around to the far west side of Millie, which, frankly, with the zone being what it is probably even worse than pulling up anywhere on the northwest or northeast side of the zone. Very, very hard to sneak in there as a solo. Speaking of sneaking in, Merkham trying to sneak into the far south. Once again, just trying to go through this Millie base, which has the highest concentration of teams compared to anywhere in the zone. Scrappy now, the last player left up from Merkham. Important to note as well in the far southeast, they haven't made too much noise this game in the purple, but Simply Simple does have a workable rotation. They're also one of the only teams with 4 players up. So if they're able to rotate east and not get punished by Singularity, then they will have a very, very good spot going later into this game. And that compound that Singularity is holding, and with the zone being what it is, as long as Simply Simple is willing to blue tank just a smidgen, just a little bit, it's going to be really simple to go around that low ground compound if they are aware or if they predict that someone is in there. Still, though, the Cold War situation continuing to push out Panda Team, who I'm not even sure what they've done this game. I think they've cleaned up the northwest side of Millie a little bit, so they don't have too many kills to their name. I think that a lot of the kills have gone to Drowning, gone to the Blue, and gone to, quite frankly, teams that are already out of this game, taking fights in Phase 1 and not surviving much beyond that. Looking over here, Merkham, though, getting knocked to very low HP. It looks like Simply Simple is actually going for a crash here. I'm not sure if they intended to do this, but either way, they are now all in on trying to take Scrappy out of this game, wrapping around the south side of the building. A couple of, I think that was like pre-fire coming out from this Lyron inside. I'm not sure where he's. Okay, he's on the first floor, trying to find Scrappy. Scrappy going in, trying to use the burst fire M16, not gonna be hitting any shots, and Simply Simple will be, instead of wrapping east around Singularity, will be now adding their names to the list of teams that are congesting the hell out of the military base. 1, 2, 3, 4 of our, let's do some quick math here. 12, 15 of our 28 players are inside Millie. The other 8 players, the northwest and the northeast, those are the teams that are feeling, I think, pretty good about this right now. They don't have to do pretty much anything to win this game. In fact, Panda Team in their current spot, they won a game from their spot right now. The zone was different, but the location was the same on the northwest edge. I'm really liking their chances, and I am confident of their ability to play this zone properly. IG Sangal playing a little bit louder, a little bit hotter. Cold War certainly escalating into a hot one, as Simply Simple is really the driving force in this. They're moving around quite a bit. They're making a lot of noise. They're going for some crashes. They're not being subtle in their approach, which might not be the best, as it's very simple to realize that, okay, they're on the ATC to the far south. What's the next building they're going to be in? It's going to be the factory, this warehouse building. Singularity knows that. Elusive knows this. IG Sangal probably knows that. So because of that, once again, there's this team that's moving around. No one wants to take a fight. If anyone on any edge takes a fight, Simply Simple will be in a marvelous position to go third party it. I'm not saying that particularly they will or that they should, but they can, and that's where a lot of the fear is coming from. That's why not many people are going for these big aggressive pushes, even though sometimes in certain situations we would see that. Just no one really wants to right now. Far northeast, Chocolate Thunder, a team I haven't talked about too much after Blue tanking and gatekeeping the hell out of multiple teams. Let's go actually just check and see how many kills they have. 6 kills to their name. It doesn't seem like a ton, but I think that's the most compared to any other team in this game right now. I've been doing a stellar job so far, playing a very unorthodox play style, punishing a lot of players that also being willing to blue tank, but they're willing to stand their ground in blue tank, not really looking to try and sneak their way, not willing to drive the way into the zone. No, they're here to stay. They're here to shoot you despite being in the blue. Simply Simple, finding Singularity, taking shots that way. Surprise SKS, but shouldn't matter too much as gun's still incredibly loud. Oh my god, a headshot onto one of those players will slow down a push if Singularity do decide to go for it. As we see on the zone, these players aren't not in zone. Simply Simple not in zone either, however. Gonna be a little bit hard for all these teams to move around in the case of a hard shift. However, it's not. I feel like it's not quite to call this quite right to call this a boiling point. But with the next zone, wherever it's going to be, it's going to cause some kind of fight. Every team on every edge have taken some kind of a very good strong point. And Chocolate Thunder actually beginning to take shots at Platinum just before this the phase shifts. And as I say that, Chocolate Thunder proving they have one of the better spots in this game right now. And even Platinum dying to the blue might have DC'd. Not sure exactly what happened in the second frag coming out of Chocolate Thunder, showing what is up, and quite frankly, putting Singularity down with what appears to be a whimper. Not putting much fire out at all. Alejo having a lot of pressure on him to find a headshot in this very, very worrying peak battle. His teammate finding a little bit of damage, causing Soldado back up, but oh my god, looking over just in time to see Isatal get demolished. Mr. Do the MM, however, from Silly Simple from that west side, will be the one that is ready to contest that. The smoke's coming out. Alejo trying to stay alive, using this smoke, the concealment, to avoid further damage from Simply Simple, who are now pushing up further north onto these oil tanks. However, this providing very, very awkward cover to play around. You peek one angle, the other one can surely see you, and Chocolate Thunder specifically making so much noise that Panda Team is coming in trying to clean them up and make this a very simple game for them. And SG is saying, yep, I know how to shoot. I am ready for this fight to happen. Haven't shot at all game. He is looking for a fight, raring for it, and finding Lime, taking them down to only Soldado and Mad Attack. Soldado now getting flanked on the left by Dewad, taking him down. Panda Team is just simply on top of this fight, with Mad Attacks being the last player left up in the low ground. And even Panda Team, they're not even worried about Chocolate Thunder. They see players on the far side taking shots at them. They realize this team only has 2 players left up tops, and in this case, it's only going to be 1. And even Singularity feeling like they were forced into Simply Simple, but it's just going to be, you want to die to Panda Team, or you want to die to Simply Simple. They have the numbers, they have the terrain. There is nothing going for you, and Singularity dying now in 8th place, getting 1 or 2 placement points only for that. Panda Team now solidifying themselves as one of the strongest teams in this game. Numbers, positioning, everything going in their favor. Far west, Socio getting found out, not before getting a single down. No flushes, no finishes, luckily for them. So ID Sangel will be able to continue to go into this game as a 3-man, able to potentially contest the strong hold that Panda Team has on the north side of the zone. Zone essentially right now being split in half by this road. I feel like a broken record because I say it so much, but the zone loves doing this. It could still hard shift south in favor of any of one of these 4 teams to the far south, but if Panda Team win the 50-50, and they do, then they're going to be in for a very, very nice game. Oh god, this is going to be a slaughter, a massacre. There's no cover left on the south side of the zone, and everyone here knows that. They are now regretting being so passive here because no one can move. Although, as I say that, Buyakai beginning to sneak across on the west side. Panda Team isn't watching this. If he makes this across, his team needs to follow him right away. Koski and Uno, that being said, Simply Simple do spot him, but Panda Team doesn't. That's the big story. But the more time they give Panda Team to realize that this is a threat, the worse it gets for Sangal. And even Koski taking shots, firing at Simply Simple to his east, makes Panda Team realize that this is now a threat. So sending 2 players over here, spotting Uno on the beginning of his crossing, and probably predicting that, okay, if Uno's over there, someone's got to be closer, but does not spot Buyakai through the trees. Magister in a lot of trouble, getting sprayed down by Buyakai here. Rest of the Panda Team not in position to help out. Dewad overextending, going to the low ground. NSG just can't find Buyakai. IG Sangal making a gigantic push across this road, bloodying the nose and breaking the arms of Panda Team. As Buyakai leading the way, Koski and Uno now at his back. They have taken the spot, the god spot that was held by Panda Team. Incub and Dewad now realizing this is a major threat, getting online. 1 player close, 1 player Dewad getting himself set up in the off angle in the back, but Incub, this is okay. This isn't even this is all in right here, hiding in this bush. Koski not spotting Incub. Wants this to happen, doesn't take the spray in the bush. They're so close. He stands up in the bush. Okay, he's a very inexperienced bush camper. That much is for sure. D-Wad in the back on the far east, going for a similar strat, but hiding in the hard cover. We saw this from Miss Hairspray. The trick is to hide in plain sight, apparently. So this might be one of the spots that IG Sangal specifically tries to check. But as I say that, this is going to be Simply Simple, who's coming in from the south. But a long spray from Booyakai is going to take down Dude the MM and Hofkid. There's still a couple players left up, but some frags and other utility are now coming in from Sangal to try and finish this fight. Uno spotting the last player. Actually, I thought it was the last player in a jump peek, but there's still Gavin Ahmed alive on the far side, who was able to get a good enough work done in this three-way fight. Dewad in the chaos, in the carnage, able to take down one player, and it looks like IG Sangal making the exact same mistake as Panda Team, and even with the last player going down from Dewad, now Panda Team might even be able to recover. Although as I say that, Elusive, they've been so sneaky. They have the ninja profile picture, and they're showing up why they have that. Just sneaking in from the west. They only have 1 kill, but it doesn't matter because they're in position to take first place. They know exactly where he is. Shooting him in the thigh, shooting him in the back. Fizzle waiting for the last shot. Frags after frag coming in, and it's gonna be Quick Eyes who takes him down. Elusive with their second win of the day. Not many kills at all for this team, but they are doing what a lot of other teams tried to and couldn't. They are playing so well for placement, taking first places, and that's it. They might not even be in first place after this. They only got 12 points for that win. But in a game like that, and in a lobby like this, where the points are so spread out, this is a big victory for Elusive. That being said, I think that with Panda Team 7 kills, and whoever the 4th place team was, well, I actually don't quite remember who that was, they got 7 kills as well. I think that both of those amounts, 2nd place, I think there was more than what Elusive got, and the 4th place was comparable. Scoreboard after game 3 is going to be very, very close. Especially considering after game 2, we didn't have any teams with more than 21 points. And we've seen teams get 21 points in a single game. It's actually common. It's very common for that to occur. Would not be surprised to be seeing a major upset because the framework is already there for a gigantic upset, for a team to have a gigantic win and launch ahead 5, maybe even 10 places on the leaderboard. We'll be able to tell exactly what teams are going to be capable of doing that when we look at the leaderboard when it comes up, but right now, the scores are very, very close. Excuse me. I'm just curious what's going to happen there because it seems like so many teams they're making like the right pushes. Like IG Sangal, that push was clean, but they did the exact same thing that Panda Team did, where they felt like, okay, we have this strong spot, we have this high ground, we now need to kill everyone. And every single team, besides Elusive, looked at that spot and was like, yes, we need that spot that Panda Team is at right now. It's the best spot to be. Let's push towards it. And the problem that happens in PUBG, and I noticed this actually with the way that all these teams are playing around their military circle, is that if everyone does the same thing, if everyone uses the same strategy, that strategy becomes very bad very quickly because you have all of a sudden 8, 12, 3, 4 different teams all moving toward the same spot, doing the same strategy. And this is where sort of the benefit of scrims comes in, where you realize what strategies are and are not taken, what you are and are not allowed to do, and really what your play style should be when you play these games. And for a lot of teams right now, their play styles are too similar. It's so similar, it's dangerous. I don't care about blue tanking. I'm just going to go in and out the edge. 3 or 4 teams did that. Chocolate Thunder was the best one there and was willing to take a lot of those fights, whereas a lot of other teams, after blue tanking, after saying, like, okay, I'm not actually sure if we're willing to take like a fight in the blue, tried to rotate around Chocolate Thunder, and Choco was able to take him down. IG Sangal made a great push, snuck around the far west side, pushed directly on to Panda Team, and took their spot. But it was Simply Simple, as well as the remnants of Panda Team that said, no, we're going to be keeping this spot. We're not giving it to you. And it was Elusive on the far side that was able to hold there on that far side and be able to, well, sneak in that little win. Now, it's hard to tell exactly if that's a good way to play. Elusive did only get 2 kills, 12 points, and their wins that they have gotten have been partially through the zone and partially through the actions of others that they were able to immensely capitalize on. But still, it's not the worst thing in the world for these other teams. Yeah, you're not getting points for winning. Yeah, with Elusive getting a lot of placement points, not many kill points, it is sort of by killing the top team in terms of kills and you not getting many kills yourself and getting first place and that high kill team getting second place, you are equalizing the leaderboard quite a bit if you're Elusive. So they're actually Elusive. They're actually making some really weird stuff happen to this leaderboard because of the way they're playing. And I actually really like it. I think that this is the kind of style that teams like Team Almost were trying to go for and didn't make it quite work. Looking over here at the leaderboard, though, Elusive, a team that I did not expect to play well going into today. I like them. I know that they're, quite frankly, there are a lot of like U.S. Marines, a lot of U.S. troops. I have a lot of respect for them, and I am really glad to see them play this well in the Survival Sunday League. And honestly, at this point, a 6-point lead, that's pretty good. I think that's almost good enough to at least confirm a top 3. That being said, look at this round 2, and I know from what I know about them, they're not the most consistent team either. They're gonna need some help from the zone to have a really, really good game, but they don't need a really good game. They need to make sure that no other team gets like 6 more points than they do. The problem is look at second place through like 9th place. Every single team here within those placements could get first place. After that, almost every team down to 13th could get a second or third place. So that second place and that is going to be really interesting to look at within the entire leaderboard. And first place is definitely up in the air between, I would say, let's just call it 1st through 4th, 1st through 5th place. Logic Squad, Panda Team, Simply Simple, and IG Sangal all have great shots. But to look at consistency, and that's the really big thing if you're looking at, okay, who is probably going to look at this? You can't ignore Simply Simple and Panda Team. 5th, 3rd, and 4th with good kills from Simple, and with Panda Team, consistent good placements besides a really, really rough game 2 on Miramar. But a 4th and a 2nd with a decent amount of kills every game definitely puts them above average in my mind. It's going to be really hard to get past them, but you got to remember, for Panda Team in particular, they already have a slot in the finale. If they get 1st or 2nd, it is going to go to another team. So even if they do take that slot, it might be a victory in disguise for whatever our 3rd team is. So, interesting interaction there that could occur. Looking forward to seeing how that's going to happen, though. And honestly, I just want to see more Logic Squad as well after game 2. They died really early in Fairy Pier. We didn't quite get to see the fight. Tapuntic died just as we got there. Game 2, I'm going to say it, might have been a fluke to Tapuntic. I'm gonna see more from you in Game 4 as we go back to Miramar soon. I believe that as well he is an EU team, so we'll probably see him playing on his home turf. It's a bit too early to say if Miramar is his prime terrain. It's only one game. I haven't seen much of this team before. I think that they've played in the SSL under a different name with a different roster. There's a lot of teams. It's kind of hard to tell, but I would definitely like to see him play more and just kill more people. Just kill him, Forehead. Just win, Forehead. Oh my goodness! So this one's gonna be so close. I'm just wondering how this last game's gonna go though, because it seems like, especially in that last game, specifically in the Millie Circle, that it seems like a lot of teams here. I think I touched on this before. Have a very similar play style when it comes to rotating in, specifically from the early to the mid game. So I think that if someone sort of downloads that, realizes maybe like you have time to, I don't know, review a VOD or something between games, then you're saying, oh, and you find a pattern in the rotation and the timing that these teams are taking, that's 2 points, that's 3 points. And oftentimes in the SSL, there are, in fact, I think for 3 of the 6 weeks we've had tiebreakers. And this is the tiebreakerest week yet that we've had so far. It's I don't know if there's any tied scores quite yet with how close the leaderboard is. It doesn't matter if you're tied in game 3. What matters is what the game 4 final score is. I feel like this is a good point as well to probably discuss the tiebreaker rules. Average kills, average placement. So it's kills first and then your average placement. Or rather your total kills, not your average kills, excuse me. So that's definitely, or rather potentially going to come into play for our second, third place teams. That being said, can't forget Elusive going into this with a 6-point lead over the rest of the team. Let's see if our NA boys can do it, or NA ninjas can continue making their magic happen as we go into our fourth game of EU Miramar. Getting word from the boys. Getting word from the boys that it looks like the server is up and is going to be going live soon. Aw. I'm reading the chat right now. Thank you so much, Bankai. It's it's really hard, as you can tell. I'm almost out of water after every game, but I'm doing the best I can, and I appreciate the kind words. Also, I feel like this is a good time to put out some shout-outs for our teams that have provided us with their team's Twitter handles. Of the teams that are playing very well today that I can think of off the top of my head, we have IG Sangal's Twitter at SNGL Esports. That's the @ right there. Try and follow them. Polar Ace as well. Polar Ace Esports. Just try and follow. If you ever see any of these teams playing, make sure you follow them on Twitter. See whatever they're doing, and let's try and make a supportive, inclusive community that we can all sort of lean on each other for. Because that was the intent of, at least that I would like for FirstBlood Tutorial Sundays to be, is a inclusive way to get T2, T3, even people that aren't even competitive players into the esports scene, and I think we're doing that right now. Just a little bit of just throwing it out there. But yeah, happy that you guys are enjoying the SSL so far, even if Game 3 was, quite frankly, a gigantic meme. Oh, thank you, Disembodied Hand. I appreciate it. By the way, since we're being all thankful, I think this is a good time to thank the previous production crews that have worked with FirstBlood in the past. That's going to be Thorin, who has moved on to bigger and better things, and Andy, who is now helping us out from across the United States. They're still helping out. We see Andy notifying the players, that's me, Nag, when the games are going live. But just a quick thank you to you guys that are making the SSL happen. Now, though, enough of being thankful. It's time for Game 4, the last game of the day to start. Leaderboards are tight, and the flight plan in normal SSL fashion is gonna be nice and clean. Cutting the map in half, go wherever you want. It's all gonna be viable. This is probably going to result in a relatively chill phase 1, but everyone can go where they want, and I would not have this last game end any other way. That being said, the amount of Picado hot drop I see is very, very high in games like this, and wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. Already a couple of teams dropping off early. Elusive and Simply Simple. These are two teams that are very, very high in leaderboard right now, looking like they're teasing a drop to the La Cabrera area. Fizzle, they're going a little bit off, showing that they're probably looking for callers within La Cabrera, while Simply Simple, the boys in purple, are instead going for the city itself. Similar things happening down here in the San Martin outskirts. Actually, a lot of teams dropping here in the San Martin outskirts. Chocolate Thunder, Singularity, just to name a couple. There's two more alongside them. Specifically at these crossroads, there's a lot of teams that, this happens almost every week as well in the Northwest side. So many teams like dropping in this area around the crossroads, thinking it's not going to be populated, and they almost always get in a awkward, gritty fight for almost the entirety of the game. And looking over here, oh my god, there's an 8-man team that is dropped here in La Cabrera. We're able to see Elusive Snorlax with a very risky play, driving through the heart of a hot city right now, but grabbing this Murado, able to grab Inex as well on his left. Good start here from Elusive. I'm a little worried about Quick Eyes to the far west, but he should be okay if the routing is good. Gavr, Ahmet, and the rest of, I believe that is Simple, has been pushing off to the east, not willing to take a fight. A little bit after, Elusive's trying to follow there with some shots, but not going to be landing many of those. That UMP, very, very difficult gun to use on moving vehicles. Zone popping now is going to be on the southeast side. This is going to help 303 as well as IG Sangal quite a bit, and specifically IG Sangal. They're looking like they're hungry for blood as Buyakai. Oh no, he's not hungry. He's pretty cold. He's running at Jagged with a mini, but a mini versus a mini. But Buyakai, having no helmet, Jagged didn't hear him move. He has no idea that he's here. Buyakai peeking left, peeking right, but not hitting him with that quick mini burst. And quite frankly, if you're Buyakai, this is so ballsy. You have no helmet, you have a mini, and you don't know what Jagged has. Realizing the ambush was not effective though. Retreating back to the lurker, and even Jagged not willing to take this fight. Buyakai hearing him drive away, actually, and might even continue to press in that direction. Looking at actually for a second here at the drop of 303, this is very odd. We normally see a team drop 4-man in the north side of Los Leones, but instead only dropping 3 and having, I believe that was Ron Paul. If we want to go back to the map, yeah, outside Picado in the outskirts. This will work pretty well depending on what Phase 2 does. But right now in Phase 1, there's a lot of risk for these players, especially Ron Paul, if he gets crashed in this very, very popular compound, especially by Merkham. A very, very obvious and common rotation from Picado in a zone like this is from Picado to Ron Paul's compound. I worry a lot for him. Rest of the zone, a significant chunk of players on the far north side that dropped early and immediately went north. San Martin and north of it, I'm counting at least 7 teams, maybe even 8 or 9, all in that area, all not in the zone, and there's not going to be enough cars. There's not going to be enough safe routes for everyone on that side. It's going to take a little bit of that for that boiling point to tip over, but right now, it's going to be chilled out a little bit as the Cold War of positioning and looting continues there on the far, far north. Team almost able to give themselves finally a decent loot for themselves. They always love Puerto Paraiso. They recently talked about how much they like this spot. They think it really suits their playstyle that well, but based on the leaderboard, they might not be having a great time of it. Also, looking at the, apparently it's looking like someone from IG Sangal might have DC'd accidentally. Maybe they didn't make it into the game for some reason. 6-3 alive though, and no, yep. I think that Koski didn't make it in. And this is actually, I think, the second time actually that they have had a close round, IG Sangal, that has been just slapped by a DC. This is really frustrating for IG Sangal, but sadly, it's just part of PUBG esports right now, and it's why when you have games like this, that getting as many games in for competitive series is very, very important, just to reduce the RNG from the endgame placements. Looking over here, Angry Animals, however, getting themselves a crate, as well as Amic getting a compound that was just left, vacated by Ronan of Polar Race. He's going to hear him push in. He's going to also notice that crate has been taken and gained by Bueno Films, but with his team being further east, they're not going to be in position to help out. So he's going to be backing off from there. More of the north side, as well as Isatal getting peppered by bullets in the far north. A couple of long-range 1x SLR shots being used by Lappa Gaming. Hopefully they can find some scopes, make another high kill game for us. They provided in the first couple of games. Looking over here, it looks like that boiling point is beginning to burst as we see a fight now breaking out, though, between Simply Simple and Panda Team. Gaver Ahmet already taken down reinforcements from Panda Team on Route 1 from the west, holding the high ground, 1 from the east, once again holding more high ground. So they're simply leaving Inkov to what is now a 1v1. Zlyron wrapping on the right side, the chest high wall from Inkov, doing a lot of work here. This is a great way for him to peek, but does not feel good going for the re-peek. Dewad going for a wide flank. I don't know if I love how Panda is playing this, especially as the car flips on the far side. It's a very, very slow play, and it's putting a lot of pressure on Inkov to survive in this 1vx situation. He will actually be dying from it. So just realizing the fight's breaking out, not helping Inkov, but helping from the sidelines. But because of that, Dewad's now all in. So he was ineffectual in his hold, but is now almost all in on another 1v4 when he could have helped out a little bit earlier and potentially denied the resin to Gaver or even helped him not get down in the first place. So Panda Team not in a good way right now. And you gotta remember, Panda Team, one of the top teams right now. Sure, they're qualified in the finale, but I'm pretty sure that they want to get money for winning, for playing today. But oh my god, Dewad with a couple of headshots, not just 1, but 2 onto Lyron. Maybe even getting a frag, but it actually bounces off the sloped surface back towards him, lighting that offroad on fire. Not gonna be good for him. That res will be popping off, and he was too far away to realize that a player began pushing toward the down for the res. So Dewad not working with much intel. Inkov is still alive, so there is still a lot of incentive for Magister Z to push in. And actually, Inkov able to crawl away, and Dewad able to get another knock, putting in so much work. He's under a lot of pressure though, and Panda Team, they're just constantly they're putting their players in good spots, but they're not supporting each other right now. And now Gaver Ahmet will be getting the down onto Dewad while the res is occurring on Inkov. So Dewad trading his life for Inkov. Although, as I said, that Magister Z putting in some long-range fire, Gaver and Do the MM not going for the flush onto Dewad. Panda Team still in this, but Do the MM beginning to move does flush Dewad. now getting punished for this slow, methodical, although somewhat risky play style. UDMM going for a peek, NSG spotting him out, taking some shots, suppressing him. A frag from Magdasuzi saying, hey, I'm back, baby, downing Lyron. On that side, spotting Gavra Ahmet, jumping around. He knows NSG knows the down here. He's peeking over here, but does get flanked on the right. And once again, Panda team playing so split and gets demolished for it. The game can't even handle it. Where are we? What's going on? Simply Simple showing Panda team what is up. Top team versus top team. Simply Simple coming out on top, sending Panda team to the Shadow Realm in 16th place. Almost certainly out of the money now. But I gotta say, Panda team did not play that clean. That was risk after risk after risk, and they finally got punished for it. I actually don't know how, so she got headshot right there. I know that'd be a little bit tilted at that if that happened to me, but luckily at that range with this sort of kit, didn't result in his death. But it looks like PDS losing a lot of armor, using a lot of meds actually with these various peak battles versus Merkham to their north. Gonna be trying to hold the middle of the zone very, very early on. 303, meanwhile, to the east and west, going for a 2-2 split here in this next zone. And once again, just finding these shots onto pros don't snake. Maybe in this case, snaking, or at least not peeking, would be the better part of Valor, as they're just continuously losing these peak battles against people that are either better shots or have better access to better gear. The zone did pop, though. Let's see what they're looking at right now, as this is still a good spot to be. So PDS, zero incentive to move, will want to stay here, but once again, they need to make sure they don't lose everything for staying here. More teams making their way in. Looks like the north side has been able to mostly calm down, as most teams, I'm pretty sure every team has either made their way in from the north or have wrapped off to the west. Buyakai there, now trying to camp people out from coming in through Las Leones. A lot of gunfire heading toward Loganberry. Somehow that buggy still okay. The back right wheel missing Loganberry at half HP, but Buyakai not able to finish that kill off. 2X not doing him any favors. Far East Singularity going on their own rotation camp. Actually, excuse me, this is Logic Squad is trying to camp this rotate, trying to get a lot of kills here. But oh my goodness, Bang Kai, Tuomas was just in awe of that sick move. And yep, okay, you can have the rotate. We'll go away. We'll let you have it, and we'll be actually moving off to the west, further inside, Los Angeles, further into the zone. Angry Animals now, though, going for a push on the far west side on to, I think this is Pole Team. Shuku and Cappy holding the west side of the compound, while his teammates are still maintaining their presence on the east. This 2-2 split here from Angry Animals, though, it is pretty scary for the front, too. They need to land these frags. Team Almost in their qualifying week showed us how strong this spot can be. If you can just land those frags through the window, if they could, then Cappy would be dead. But they used the only frags they had, missed, and now they are the ones that are under bombardment. Rios and Explosion scattering, just trying to make sure they don't get hit by an errant explosive. Luckily, they do have a couple of players from afar providing covering fire, and actually him and Exro, Rios and Exro, getting a quick headshot on that one player up there will allow them an opening into this compound. He hears Shuku healing. He knows they're on the staircase, but just kind of waiting for his buds to come online. Does not by any means want to push in alone. However, his current spot, pretty flankable. Ryozen in a very precarious situation here. Shuku and Kartufel now have linked up as well, making this building the main hold for Pole Team, but not sending everyone. They do still have Crunio in the far east to prevent a third party. Ryozen's creeping, but these guys, I can only imagine they have good enough headphones that they can still hear this. This is not completely quiet. Kartufel getting a frag ready. Not quite ready, but Ryozen not in position to perfectly capitalize on this. Using the chest side wall, does take down one, goes back, unpeeking, and now Amic and Co. actually leaving as Exro goes down, and Ryozen not feeling it as well. Amic, they were ready. It looks like they were ready to send it, but just as that happened, that precarious spot, as soon as that long-range cover was not being provided, was the time for Pole Team to strike. I'm not sure if that was intentional or if it was just bad luck for them, but they will get down here. The bike actually It looked like he just lost all of his momentum there at the very end of his jump. Very weird stuff. Luckily, they didn't die for that. Not even sure if it would have been their fault, but hopefully it's still usable because they are not in the zone. It hard shifts east, to the east, toward Bandita. And now Sangal, oh my god, I don't even know what just happened. I don't know what happened to the entirety of IG Sangal, but Zidon did take down the last player. Loganberry, Zidon still alive. They did have 13 points, so this needed to be an explosive game for them. 3 kills. That ain't nothing. But it's not going to be enough. They need at least like a 10-kill win minimum, I believe, to be able to even get within the top 3. Right now, though, they're just trying their best, which I very much respect here. Looking at the rest of the zone as well, we do have a 2-2 split coming in from Lappa Gaming in the orange. Dark Dreams and Svan on the far right, Bankai and Ko on the left, taking up a lot of very valuable surface area inside the zone. And just to note, most teams aren't going to want to be in La Bandita. So they're with every side but the north taken up, actually Mr. Do the MM now in the northeast, it is going to be almost impossible to break into center zone. And we actually saw this happen in the previous Miramar game where for some reason or another, the middle of the zone was cut off. This time, not because there's no cover, but because you can't get in. Every single angle has at least one team on there. I'm not saying that you couldn't just yeet a bike over the crater and find a way to get in there somehow, but right now it's going to be really hard to break in. Killflip, we do see 303 getting demolished by a Logic Squad. And it looks like, once again, Logic Squad showing us the strength of proning as they do get taken down on a big push from their east side. PDS able to stay alive during all this hectic carnage, though. Moving in from what was their previously centered compound, trying to inch their way into the zone. Going to be a very dangerous spot for them as Merkham to their north. That's going to be PDS, for some sake, to their north. They do have Merkham to their north, and that's going to be really hard to cross this field to get further into the zone. They're not screwed yet, and it looks like that Merkham, well, didn't know that they were here. Certainly do now. It's going to be hard for PDS here, though. It's going to be really hard for Pros Don't Snake. Very, very difficult to cross this field, but they're going to be okay for now. A couple more skirmishes breaking up on the far southeast side, or excuse me, northeast side. As Chocolate Thunder claim the high ground, partially because it's all that's really left, but also just to gain intel. Do realize that Singularity is here in what is one of the prime locations for any team. Chocolate Thunder not feeling good about that, but they got what they wanted. They got their scouting intel, and they will be rotating around, it looks like, to a compound just a little bit closer to the zone. Looks like Isatal and the rest of Singularity probably spotted that. Not exactly a... Oh no! Man attack flipping his Murado in the 50 meters that he drove. Definitely the not the star driver on his team, but luckily it's not going to be too impactful as a hard shift to their north will put them in the zone. I'm worried about everyone on the south side, though. These guys have a lot of incentive to move, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 at least teams already in here, and it looks like Polar Race on the wrong side of the beating stick this time as Loganberry getting down. Logic Squad with a 4-man all up on the high ground and not even in the zone. This frag might even, I wouldn't even be surprised if this lands near him. Oh my god, oh, it almost made it work. But that small chest-high wall did protect Zidon for now. Smoke now coming out here from Polar Race, trying to res Loganberry, but it's going to be really hard. The thing is, though, is that the longer Logic Squad stays here, the harder it is to break into the zone. There might even be a time where they're incentivized to leave this fight, although they're sitting here. The zone is closing now. No. Logic Squad is all in, and that means that Polar Race's days are numbered. Still, though, they're trying to hold on, trying to win these peaks. Zidon making peaks. Tuomas, though, waiting for a single hard peak to blow the head off of one of these players. And as the zone encompasses them, the Logic Squad, you can see him. They're getting antsy. Tuomas wants to leave. He's just waiting for someone to walk into his gun. Eventually, Oldless will find it, and a frag from Oldless as well, taking down Polar Race just in time for the zone to hit him. Meanwhile, on the far south, whoa, Pros Don't Snake allowed to just cross the open field, getting an opening pick on a scrappy of Merkham. Refray and Boss Worthless, the only two alive, if I'm not mistaken, leading this into a 4v2 advantage in favor of Pros Don't Snake. Refray and Boss Worth trying to frag, trying to find some cheeky angles, but they have no idea where PDS are. They're fragging the warehouse. There's no one in there right now. Socio not letting Scrappy getting away, confirming that kill point, but you gotta remember, you gotta finish this fight soon, because look at that minimap. There's angry animals coming in from the west, and PDS, they're probably not gonna lose a 2v4, but they might lose a 2v2v4, as we saw is very much possible in previous bits of this game. Look at this though, Sixel going for a flank around the far right, peeking a little bit, but doesn't spot Refray quite in time. Refray holding a very, very dangerous angle, but oh, look at that, that's pretty big. Socio getting down by Boss Worth, but realizing that Sixel's at his building, the frag coming in, Boss Worth not able to stop the frag, but not either in a spot that's punished, but T-Garden, oh, does get down, Boss getting his own down, no one in position to cover for the trade, and Boss, oh, that looked pretty good, but T-Garden, the hero, saving Sixel's and Socio's life, able to barely stay alive, and even at the west, Angry Animals not going for a push regardless there. So no risk. Speaking of pushes, though, in the far south, that's the spot where the next fight is going to happen, as Logic Squad running in from the zone in the middle of the open are going to be forced directly on top of Team Almost. I say this literally, however, as they do now have an elevation advantage and are even flanking Team Almost, who have barely been able to stay alive with what little cover they have. That being said, Logic Squad can't use this for that much longer, as the third parties that were keeping Team Almost uncovered have now found new prey, or found a new quarry in the form of Logic Squad. Oldest and Tuputnik immediately going down, not even getting the chance to fire their guns, even getting third party from their far west by Pros Don't Snake, who are gobbling up kill after kill after kill, leaving only Baznik left alive. And look at this blue. He cannot stay alive. He is forced to go in. This is not that Erangel military base game. He does almost lead to the death of Mime, but will be able to get taken down by Evasion. Almost hanging in there. This might finally be their game. Far west is beginning to look a little bit hot as well, as Singularity have quite the order. Actually, as I say that, onto floor, going down Isatal, going down this 2-2 split. I see it punished so often, where you have a 2 split, you bring it into phase 5, and someone just claps you because they go for a crash or because you tried to hold off too much. That seems to be the story of the day, trying to hold off too much and getting immediately punished for it. Speaking of which, though, this is not quite a case of that, actually, as the frag from Bueno Film, the flankers, the new arrivals from the south, they didn't even know that he was there, I think, and still, it is actually these shots that make him realize, but oh yeah. I'm not gonna lie, if you're Angry Animals, you probably gotta assume that that compound is taken. So that was pretty ballsy from Amic, and obviously a mistake to die in that fashion. Platinum mowing him down. And even look at this. Chocolate Thunder to the north, who were getting gatekept by Platinum, who were trying to take both of these compounds, now punishing them by taking the south side and giving themselves entry into the zone, either by evading or by pushing directly into Platinum. If they realize that Platinum is only a 2-man group as well, they should definitely push onto this. Speaking of pushes, Team Almost making their way in. Mime leading the way. You can hear him moving around inside. This is Lapateam, one of the kill leaders of the lobby. Fanster holding it, going for the, he hears him, trying to peek him out. With very, very quick peeks. The frag going into the building. Fanster holding, or hiding in the back corner, trying to use the furniture inside to block line of sight. Dark Dreams, though, trying to go for a flank on a mine. The frag didn't get the work done, but he himself might. The AK Sprite almost adding Mime. An errant jump almost leading to the death of Mime. Yuso might be able to get it worked on with his frag. I think it bounced off the forehead of Fanster and does get him down. Yuso getting down a little bit of HP himself, but no downs means that he will be able to heal himself up. Dark Dreams, he needs to find damage with these frags. If he doesn't, his team inside the compound might get taken out here. Yuso scrambling left, trying to avoid these frags, but Dark Dreams now finally out, leaving Team Almost here alive on this push. However, look at the minimap. Bros Don't Snake coming in from the southwest, forcing Evasion in, and now some really, really good tap fire from Bankai will lead to the death of Evasion. But either way, Team Almost might have made this push too slowly, as Yuso going down from PDS on the southwest side, leaving only Mime alive. Usually it's Yuso or Tanaka who's alive, but Mime, who actually was still making the push, was not meant to be the solo snake in this scenario, will be forced into that role as they did not make the push into Lapa fast enough, and PDS was able to shoot them in the back during that time. The question is now, though, is that PDS, one of the only 4-man teams left up, are now forced in to run into the entirety of the zone. And Lapa Gaming, they got 3 players up. If Team almost didn't put that much of a dent into them, this is going to be a really hard push. They're going to need a lot of smoke grenades. They actually need to throw them right now. The zone is pushing them in from their backs, but a couple of great shots. This is exactly what pros don't say need. There's only 2 players left up, and now they have to decide, do we hold them back or do we go for the res? Hold them back is the initial idea, but Zin not dying there is huge for pros don't say. Look, they've already got 7 kills. This might be their game. The smokes now coming out, trying to win these peak battles. Socio waiting for the headshot, waiting for the jiggle, but that jiggle peak was too fast for Lepo. Socio unable to make that work, and now the call is made. Push up. We have the smoke. We are not in zone. We need to go. Only 1 player, only 2 players actually still going up here. Kingston not able to get res, but they are slowly putting dents into Dark Dreams & Co. But look at this, at the bottom of the ridge, Mime able to stay alive. Sixel saying, wait, I didn't throw that smoke. Who is that down there? And oh no, PDS running into a meat grinder, but Ban Kai, the one who is able to get at least the kill shot onto every single one of those players. And that was an amazing amount of discipline that was shown by Lepa Gaming. Okay, he's dead. That was amazing discipline. They had it down. There was a 2v4, but they didn't get the res. They knew that if they got the res, then that would be 1 player left to keep back all 4. No, Bankai and Dark Dreams maintaining pressure onto pros don't snake was the reason they won that fight. Mime did also help, who is, by the way, still alive, still a potential player that could make an upset, and honestly, mechanically very, very strong. But looking at this, they realize that they never finished this off, and he actually does get spotted by Dark Dreams coming in from that west side, spotting out 1 player. He's still trying to play sneak. They don't know exactly where he is, Mime, and it looks like he has been taking some tutelage from Yuso, from Tanaka, being that solo snake, and this is actually very smart. Usually you don't want to snake in this the current score format. However, once you get in the top 6, it gets a lot more valuable. The placement points really begin racking up, and Mime, it almost know this. He doesn't shoot them. He allows them to take a spot in the center of the zone, leaving Bankai behind, and that's a fight that Mime can win. The question is does he know that? Does he have all this intel? It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff to know. It's a very, very changing environment in this game. El Basso only went alive on Chocolate Thunder. Team Almost only went alive on his team. 3-man for Lapa and 2-man for Simply Simple. Simply Simple, you remember, was one of the teams that was really high up on the leaderboard right now. Lapa Gaming, I'm pretty sure, was as well. And I think that Chocolate Thunder was too, but not as high up as these 2 teams. And quite frankly, 2 versus 3 versus 1 versus 1. I'm putting on my money on the 2 to 3. These are the 2 teams to look at. Lapa Gaming on the top of the ridge, and Simply Simple inside La Vendita. And it looks like over here, they might have an idea that El Basso is still alive on this edge of the zone, spotted out from afar. Mime, though, look at the kill feed. Mime was able to take down Kingston, and he is nowhere near his teammates to get rezzed. Continuing his fire out here, getting Dark Dreams to very low HP, finding the second one. Mime is a beast with the DMR, but look at the kill feed. Gavaramet taking Dark Dreams down. Mime now in a 1v1. This is winnable for Team Almost. 1 more body shot will do it. He realizes he scored a lot of hits. Bankai probably healing, pushing up, now trying to find hard cover, or at least a weird angle for him to be that Bankai would not expect. Bankai with the M24, he is not predicting that he's moving in the open, does eventually spot him with a body shot on the M24. Mime didn't see him leave, doesn't see Bankai. Is it too late? 1 more shot will do it, but Mime does it. Team Almost getting 2nd place here, but Mr. Do the MM taking time to move up during that time, and it looks like that Lapa Gaming bit off more than they could chew, and Simply Simple, it's a tale that has been told. It pretty much at the beginning of PUBG got a little bit quieter, but once again in today's SSL has shown that just keep your head down, shoot the last guy. That's all it takes to win the game, and Simply Simple will do just that with 7 kills to their name today. But also, Team Almost finally showing up with 6 on their own. Bankai and Lappa Gaming with 8 kills too. It's going to be really close based on these kills alone in the top 4. We did see Elusive as well, able to sneak into the top 5, but without a single kill to their name. That is not going to be many points, ending around the 40-point mark. Might be a top 3, but I doubt their ability to maintain their presence in the top 2 and actually get a spot in the finale. That being said, no more speculation. We do have admins working on the scores right now, and we'll be getting those to you as fast as we can. Oh my god, it's I'm dying, but it's a good kind of dying. It's a good kind of dying. I'm very excited to be seeing who will be able to get to cast here into the SSL. And honestly, the real question is if we're looking at the NA versus EU storyline, is how many teams from each region made their way in. I'm pretty sure that most of them were EU, which feels kind of bad. So for that reason alone, I'm looking at Elusive, I'm looking at Almost, saying, hey, maybe these guys got in. Although Almost, as I mentioned before, already did get in. Looking back though, Teletubbies EU, Chocolate Thunder EU, Swytap EU. I'm thinking back to the teams that have qualified already for the SSL finale. I'm pretty sure it's like all EU, so not quite representing, but still we should have a very, very good set of games. By the way, if you're interested, the finale will not be a best of 4. I'm pretty sure, I'll need to double check, but it's going to be at least a best of 5, maybe a best of 6. I'll have the exact intel on that later. Be presenting that in the Discord, as well as contacting the teams that'll be playing there. But it's gonna be a good set of games. It's gonna be super fair as well. 5K on the line, so I'm gonna make sure that we get as many games as we feasibly can fit in a day to make sure that all that money and the prize pool goes to exactly who deserves it. It'll be very exciting. Yeah, Text and Talks, I see. Nice try, PDS. Pros Don't Snake. They actually did have a very good game that game. I'm surprised they were able to get away with all that they did, but I think the big story there, despite Bankai being the one that showed up in the kill feed when he took all of them out, was Mime staying alive in that ditch. I don't know exactly how the damage worked out when Pros Don't Snake was trying to push into that defilade, but I'm pretty sure that Mime took at least 2 of them at a very low HP, and Bankai able to just hit, kill shot, getting a lot of points for his team. But this is gonna be it. The ones you're seeing today in the finale will be Simply Simple in first place and Lappa Gaming in second. Lappa Gaming, they got 3rd place in the last game, which is great for them. But besides that, an 8th, a 9th, a 16th, and a 3rd, you would normally previously in the prior competitive system never see Lappa Gaming on the top of the scoreboard. But with how many kills, I got the sheer amount of murder that beheld them, they're able to launch their way into second place, their last 13-point game, just inching in front of Elusive. And with Elusive, even if it was a tiebreaker, they would have still lost. So I think that, I'm pretty sure that one more placement, it would have taken a 3rd place or 2 kills for them to get past Lappa Gaming. So Elusive pretty far away from that. Very, very, very close after 2 first places, but the first places just were not quite enough points. So not going to be seeing at the finale, but we will be seeing Elusive getting $120 to their name. But still, Simply Simple, never an explosive game this week. Never something insane, but consistent. That's what I called it as. And even there, getting the win at the very, very end as a 2-man, insane play from them to be seeing. Lappa Gaming as well. The murder hobos that we all know and love. They showed up, they killed, and they left. They weren't even playing for about half of the play time, but they got their job done. So great job to Lappa Gaming as well. That being said, I think this is going to be it for us today. Don't forget the Gleam campaign. The code is SQUAD. Make sure that you keep an eye on the chat. And as always, congratulations to all of our top teams. And keep an eye next week for the SSL finale. 5K on the line. All the best teams from the previous SSLs will be playing. Tune in then, same time as always. I've been a little fuzzy seal bringing you the SSL Week 7 this week. Join us next week for the finale. It's going to be epic. I'll see you guys there.